Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of a gaming podcast, episode 9, 8, 7,
Nine.
what? Thank you, 9.
Nine.
You know what, the pilot is throwing me off. Why? It's episode 9. My name is MD, whatever my name is, MD14 Marcel. I can't remember my name because like numbers are throwing me off and everything.
I just spat everywhere in my setup just now. You made me laugh.
Question, actually, Marcel, what is the 14 mean in your name?
I just my favorite number. That's all.
Is it really?
No, I'm actually born the 13th, actually.
Oh, you really? Wait,
I'm born the March 13th. On a Thursday, so I'm no devil baby. I'm a regular, I'm a regular baby.
I'm a December 13th baby, and I'm on the 12th. No, it's Tuesday. I meant to say Tuesday.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
I thought you guys meant like, are you born on the 14th? And I'm like, 1914th? Like,
Yes. In fact,
Yes,
I'm glad you said 1914.
Wait,
Camille, I'm glad you said 1914 because I got my Liza P hat for the mood and everything.
where's the scarf?
Wow.
Oh, the scarf too.
There's a
You gotta
scarf
close
too?
the
Lovely scarf. Yeah, it was a
Can
lovely.
you just
Liza
talk
P.
like you're 1914?
Oh, it's been so long. I've lost that
over here.
that native tongue. I lost the way of speaking.
I
that way.
I do have a very serious question for you though, Marcel.
Hold on.
After you get the scarf on.
Actually, I might go a little bit
Is that a
further.
sleep?
I had
monocle?
enough of this. So there you go.
Oh,
What's your question?
You kind of look like Cyclops.
You're gonna have to put the hat on.
You have to put the hat on. You have
I'm
to put
sorry.
the
Oh,
hat
the
on.
guy from
Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Yeah, I know it has to go over your headphones. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yes, questions.
Screenshot
Yes,
that and make
you
it-
over
make
there.
Marcel's
You
new
over there in the
emote.
middle. You there in the middle. Yes, Riley. Go ahead.
I just need to know, are you alright? And is someone after your Lucky Charms?
I am okay, and I actually ate my Lucky Charms. Thank you very much.
By the way, if someone didn't screenshot that and make that into Marcel's new emote for his Twitch channel, then
Perfect.
you
Perfect.
really are
Doing it
kind of
wrong.
missing out.
I mean, it is on brand. Like, just wear it with the robe. You're good.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
You're definitely right. I literally just got this today. So it was a lovely surprise from Xbox Canada. So thank you. Thank you so much, Xbox Canada, and it came with the controller as well.
Show it off.
The controller. Wait,
Let's see.
Today's my show and tell today. Sorry for the blurriness, but so.
Yeah, the blur's just
I like it.
I like that too.
There you
The
go.
gray-
I can't even be
Approve.
jealous because I don't have an Xbox. I'm working on it though.
There you go.
Eventually.
We'll get you. We'll get you one. We'll wait for the revision to come out.
That's what I'm waiting for
Not that I
at this
know
point.
of any revision that may have
No.
leaked or anything.
Never.
I'm sure
No.
eventually at some point there will be a new Xbox.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know.
That's kind of a
2
given.
to 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for
That's a safe
really
bet.
old
Being like, hey, I
documents.
predict
Yeah.
2 to 10 years there will be a new Xbox.
Easy win.
Easiest win
easy
ever.
bet.
Yeah.
Anyone want a pizza bet?
Yeah.
Pizza bet for that.
It's like hot tub time machine going back in time. Like, I know what's the score of this game. you know.
It's like that person that kept predicting the end of the world. It was supposed to happen at like Y2K. Then they're like,
Right.
"Hey, I said the millennium, the new
Yeah.
millennium."
That's right.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go.
Going back to earlier, just to clarify,
Hmm?
we're all born in the 1900s, right? Please tell me that we.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
I barely made it. I barely made it.
I went to my high school reunion. Well, it was a high school
1900s.
reunion. They had like 30-year celebration of when my high school was built. And I went, and then this kid that I guess was like helping volunteer, because you have to do like volunteer time in high school, was like, when did you graduate? And I told them, and they're like, that's when I was born. I was like,
No.
no.
Yeah, that's when you
and then
just
they're
stop
like,
talking
I'm
to
in
them.
grade 12 now. I was like, oh.
Usually they're like, no, you're not. That's wrong.
No.
That's
You know,
wrong.
No.
it's like so. I actually had the distinction of graduating. I was the class of the millennium. I graduated in 2000. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but still, now we have to think about the fact that there are kids that were born in 2000 that are now 23 years old.
Yeah.
Stop that.
don't-
Stop that, Steve.
Yeah.
Don't you bring that evil into
It's
this.
math.
Don't you
You
dare.
can't go wrong with math. I know, but it's hard to really hear. Yeah, they're all 23 years old now. I don't like it.
Are we all? I mean, you don't have to age yourself, but are we all like millennials, or are there some?
Sammy,
Gen
we
Xers
know
here?
you're the
think
baby
we're
of this
mostly
group
millennials.
here, Sammy.
I
We
think
all
I'm
know it.
technically- It depends on who you talk to. I'm either in that older like millennial.
Are you on like
or,
the cusp?
Yeah, or like younger Gen X, that kind of thing. It's like because I was born '83, so it's whatever.
I
whatever
think you're millennials. Yeah, we're all the
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
Don't listen to what those new kids try to tell you. We're all millennials.
Yeah,
We're the
yeah.
cool
Wearing your
club.
skinny jeans, you know.
Yeah,
gotta-
we're
you
taking
gotta keep 'em
millennials
alive.
back. That's what we're doing.
Even if I was a millennial, I'm not wearing skinny jeans. None of these legs. I'm letting you know right now.
I will never stop.
Hey,
I
you
don't
know what?
care.
They kind of show off a little.
Yeah.
I'm just
Find
saying.
me a more comfy pair of pants. Dare you?
You know what? Comfy pants.
I was the chain wallet kid in high school with comfortable pants.
Oh, I did that
That's the
too.
move.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the move.
Weren't taking my wallet.
Baggy
No.
jeans. Yeah,
You don't know
I
about the
did
chain
baggy
wallet?
back in the day.
Taking my wallet.
You're not taking my wallet. Good luck.
It's changed
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
For lunch, I would just buy cookies. So your cookie money
Who the hell
isn't
is my
going
Ghost
anywhere.
Rider over here
Yeah.
with a fucking chain wallet. What the hell is that?
Yeah, we don't know about the chain wallet?
No.
Or
Wait,
What? What?
Are you
She hit the
serious?
Are
chain
you
back.
kidding
I
me
didn't
right
have
now?
a chain wallet. I never had a chain wallet.
But you know of the chain wallet.
I
It's
know
pretty
of
much
the
like
chain
millennials.
Oh, it was a
monocle.
thing.
Yeah.
It was a
Like,
thing.
did you have the
back then.
checker
Or
wallet?
clockwatch.
Oh,
No,
the checker wallet.
The
Yeah.
checker
Checker
wallet.
wallet.
You gotta bring that back.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That
I'm sure
was
it's
a
coming.
good
It's coming
look.
I
around.
had like a Volcom wallet, I think, was my first.
Okay.
Velcro?
Velcro? Yeah.
Volcom.
Volcom.
Welcome.
What's Volcom?
The skate
The
company.
fancier Velcro. That's what it is.
What is
yes,
Volcom?
that's
That's worse than the chain
Wait,
wallet.
what's Velcome?
Volcom.
That's,
Volcom?
I love how we haven't even made it through the intros.
Oh, yeah. We
but-
I know what you're talking
Listen,
about.
all these things might have been in
Oh.
West 49.
Yeah.
And
They're
that's
still
my
around.
time.
I
Hey,
don't know if
but
they're
this
still
one
around.
has
They
a
don't have it
chain.
now,
This
man.
is a chain
Yeah,
wallet
no,
as
There
well.
is a chain version I see.
Yeah.
I didn't get a Volcom chain wallet though.
It was just
But
a
you
regular
should have.
wallet.
You're missing out.
I
It's
don't
like
know if I should
have.
No, it's like how back in the 1914s they had the
Yeah,
Let's think
monocles.
back
Then
when
they
we were
went to
growing
the
up.
pocket
Yeah.
watch, right?
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
our kind of pocket watch monocle accessory. It was the chain
Yeah.
wallet.
Wow,
Yeah,
you're
that's true.
blowing my
Back
mind
in the
right
day
now,
when
Camille.
everyone was doing a podcast because the TV wasn't invented yet. So. you
And
know.
now it's kind of like our phones because everyone gets like the little hangy thing so that they don't get stolen off of like the TTC.
Back when all
Oh,
our jobs
yeah.
didn't exist.
I've never seen these.
They look like bracelets, and you put it on your phone, and it's like attached to this,
Oh, like
and
a
you kind of
Wiimote?
hook it in. Kinda, yeah, like a Wiimote. Yeah, I mean
See,
that's
I-
the perfect analogy for it.
I'm a fan of the fact that we got the fanny packs back,
This is true.
and then like we're
Yeah,
using
They're
that now because
worn
I'm like
a little different, but they're back.
they're worn different, but yep, it still works, and I'm a big fan.
As long as the pacifiers don't come back, I'm happy because that was
Yeah,
another
true.
God.
Yeah, that was
Or
a
like
weird,
the
that was a weird
Von
time.
Dutch.
Hey,
shoes
whoa,
and hats.
whoa. The pacifiers was in the age of all alien things, and I looked
The
for
Right.
pacifiers are actually used for drugs. That's what they're
That's
actually
true.
used
That's
for.
what it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
We just you saw all your teenager like
as a tween, you would basically you would dip the pacifier in the fun dip.
Yeah.
Oh, baby
That's
bottle
what I
pops.
thought.
The baby bottle pops. Yeah.
No,
Ring
they-
pops.
a lot
ring
of
pops.
licking
Oh,
candies
ring
that
pops are
were-
great.
Yeah,
there were
Oh,
a
the
lot
bottle
of
pops
drugs
too?
going on, so that's why. So
this is fair.
Or
Video
the Popeye
games, huh?
sticks, the Popeye candy sticks.
Yeah, video
Oh, yeah.
games.
Video
What's this
games.
podcast?
video games,
Video games, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Sammy,
Now
how
turned
how
into,
are you doing,
back
Sammy?
in my day.
Yeah, wait, Camille's stuck in the 1914s for some reason. Is that where you've been the last couple of weeks? What's going
I traveled back in time completely.
Got lost, made a wrong turn and
first.
everything. Yeah.
And then I came back and we're like a week out from Spider-Man and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. And I'm just like, where's the time gone? No, honestly, I missed you all so much. I've been super busy with work, traveling. It's just,
Also-
actually, you know what?
And getting married. Hello? What?
And getting married. Yeah, congrats on that.
And yeah, sure. But firstly, Riley.
Oh my
always
god!
goes back to
It's-
Riley. As soon as
You
I
always have to
joined-
bring something up, don't you? What?
Well,
how have I
Caboose
hurt
isn't
you?
here yet, so that's why.
something. Okay. Riley as soon as I joined this call, all I heard from Riley's mouth is, "This is why Camille shouldn't be on the podcast."
I know, and I apologize for that because I didn't know you joined.
Riley, you should have said something. You should have said nothing, right? There was no proof of it, Riley. There was no proof.
Never
He admitted
heard
it.
the previous 20 minutes where
Yeah,
he just
like
went on this
yeah.
long rant.
yeah.
Like no one could get a word
Yeah.
in. He just kept talking about reasons why you shouldn't be on the podcast, and we were getting exhausted. I mean, Steve went to the washroom twice.
Yeah,
And he was
You joined. You joined.
I mean, I'm having problems right now, but you know, hey, I had to use the bathroom. Leave me alone. It's fine.
Can't
I'm
stop
almost 40,
rocking
it's
around in
fine.
the chair, but yeah.
I wasn't even done my point. You just came and cut me off, and then there's another point of that. You know. So.
You know what, Riley? I'm this close to booting you off the podcast. All right.
Whoa.
I'm looking at you, but
Don't do me any favors, Camille.
Marcel, how long have we been recording for?
About 10 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes. This is nothing.
What? This is gold. What do you mean?
It's all good.
This is
I
gold.
know it is,
It's
but you know.
fine.
Yeah. The other first 10 minutes, I should have captured all of that with the whole Camille being a lawyer and a partner and everything. So,
I thought that was part of the show.
that should have.
That's how long it's been.
It's been so long. Sammy.
but I was just gonna be like, Sammy, how about you? Let's actually move on with
what's going on with you,
this.
Sammy?
Guys, I started Mirage. I'm about 5 hours in. And it's pretty good. Like Marcel, you guys were right. It's not as stealthy as I initially thought from the black box mission. And I got real good at ripping those posters down. So it's pretty good. So I've been streaming that, gonna continue doing that for probably the next couple of weeks until I'm done. And yeah. That'll be
Love
fun.
it.
That's me.
Yeah. If you can't
Nice.
find the
Awesome.
posters, just pay the guy off and be like, "Hey, just
That's also
put a good
Yeah.
word on, put a good word for me." You
That's
know?
fair. That's fair.
So yeah. Steve V, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
I see you're in the spooky mood, exorcists and the
Always.
ghosts and everything. You know.
I'm always a spooky boy over here. No, I'm feeling great. I mean, we're going to talk about it later, but you know, a lot of us put out our Spider-Man 2 reviews. I'm feeling, you know, a lot of weight off my chest, and now I'm able to, you know, go and start clearing things off the backlog. I went back to Lies of P this week, and I am loving that game. That is a fun game.
Hell yeah. Steve Sailor, what's going on?
Hi. Good. I'm kind of in the same boat as CBV. Like, finally, like now the Spider-Man review is done. All actually the major big reviews of the past few weeks is with Mirage and Forza is all done. Now I basically get to run straight headlong into TwitchCon this week. So actually, by the time this posts, well, actually, I think both you and I, Marcel, are going to be at TwitchCon. So it's
We'll be on our way to Vegas. You're gonna recreate the Hangover.
I have no interest to be at. I swear to God, I have no interest to be at Vegas.
I have no interest. I have no interest either. I kind of wish they put it back like to Long Beach or like somewhere in California. In some turns, because something's. Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is that I am excited about that. I is Vegas related. I did get tickets to go check out the Sphere.
Okay, I was just about to say that's the only reason why I'm so in FOMO right now is I want to see that Sphere, especially the one it's like the smiley face and you could wake up next to it and just look out and it's like all bright and fun in the world.
Actually, I think my hotel is less like about a block or so away from it, so I think hopefully I'll have a good view of it when at my hotel. I don't know, but
It's just beaming
beamy light on you.
You're not sleeping whatsoever. Right?
yeah,
You open up your curtains, and eyes looking at you.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I couldn't. Obviously, you can't get U2 tickets because they're currently doing the residency there, and they're actually playing, I think, on the Friday and Saturday of TwitchCon. But they are on the off days showing a thing of Darren Aronofsky. He made this like 50-minute film called Postcards from Earth, and it was filmed in 16K. And it's designed specifically for the Sphere. So
a lot of Ks.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm excited to be able to check that out, and it'll be on a Thursday night, so it'll be a very busy night. But I'm looking forward to checking that out. Otherwise,
I expect a lot of pictures. I want to see all the pictures.
You
and
believe
videos
me?
video
A
too,
ton of
yeah.
pictures.
Yeah. And
I'm jelly.
Cool.
then there's Riley. Riley, how's it going?
I
Pretty good.
like how you said it like that though.
Me
Then
too.
there's Riley.
And then there's Riley. I said it
I'll
more
be your
uplifting.
villain. Everybody needs a villain. I'll be it. That's fine. No, it's good. Everything's good. I feel like it's crazy. Like Steve mentioned, like the Spider-Man 2 reviews dropped, which is great. From my perspective, it's a little bit different because we're doing promotional stuff with that, which is fun and exciting. And a lot more planned for the rest of the week. And then we have Mario Wonder, which we're also working pretty closely with Nintendo on. So it's a great week for gaming, I think. And Sonic's out today.
Yeah,
so
we can't forget about Sonic. Right. You know, they have their own red and blue characters, Sonic and Knuckles. They're you know all that stuff. So a lot of red and blue this week. Too many games. Let's talk about another villain, actually. Best Buy, boo. You know, that's why I'm booing them right now. They're ending physical movie releases.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's the thing that's happening.
Does that mean gaming is next, guys? What's going on with this?
In time, but but the financial return on physical game sales is still so high.
Yeah.
Like it's like over 50% still. So
is it
it's
really? What is their reason?
Beats, but
why now? Like for them,
nobody's consuming movies and TV shows.
Yeah, because if you're gonna watch a movie, you're gonna watch it on Netflix. You're gonna go to the theater. Yeah. Like you're not going to Best Buy and buying a DVD. When's the last time you used your DVD player?
I will be honest with you, I don't even have a DVD player.
Exactly.
I'll give you a great example. Actually, just the other week I went to pop in a Blu-ray disc into my Xbox Series X, and it just wouldn't read it. It was like, oh, this Blu-ray is just incompatible with the Xbox. I was like, excuse me?
Wait, what?
How is that even possible? Yeah, it just would not play.
What?
Weird.
What?
It worked on the PS5? Did you try it on that?
Yeah, I immediately switched it over to the PS5 and it worked. I was like, this is weird.
That is weird.
That's going to hurt not PlayStation, but Sony, because they own Blu-ray, right?
Right.
Or they
have the kind of proprietary of it, I think. Patent for it. But it's interesting. Like I think probably the people who would still be interested in physical, at least in the future, kind of like is the collectors, so like the steelbook editions kind of thing.
100%.
And I can see that even for physical games too. Like they'll just get to the point where everyone's just going to go for the collector's edition, and they may not even get like an actual physical copy of the game. They'll just get a code for a download code, or if the game doesn't even like come with the collector's edition, which would be stupid, but whatever. But yeah, like I actually I do have I have a giant like tote of DVDs and Blu-rays that I want to be able to I want to get rid of, but I'm like you know what's hard?
What if the world ended?
But
he has
also
more fuel for his fire.
Exactly.
Converting those DVDs into digitally. Like there is no easy process for that. No. And I hate it because I would love to be able to set up like a Plex account, like my own with my own collection that I physically own. I have the right to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not illegally doing this. These are my own bought and paid for DVDs and Blu-rays. But I would love to do that, but it just takes so much time and effort. I'm like, I just wish I could be able to pay someone to be able to do that for me without having to spend hundreds.
Well, I think it's illegal to do that, Steve. So I don't think
it's legal to do that. Oh, I thought they were like services
because you're making a copy. You're making a digital copy. You own the actual physical, but you can't that green warning.
But it's for personal use though.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I think you.
If it's for personal use.
For personal use. As soon as you share it, then that's the problem.
Make a copy.
You can make a copy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why VHSs was allowed to be like VCRs were allowed to exist because you could.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I mean, you could burn DVDs on old PCs back in the day. I mean, that's what I did all the time in high school and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could do that really nowadays. I just thought that's what I never read that green warning. I just thought it's like, oh my God, don't make copies, don't distribute. You're going to get arrested.
Would you steal a car? Would you download a car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you download a duplicate car or whatever?
You don't know what my Napster history was? Shut up.
But I did see, the Xbox Series X and S does not support 3D Blu-ray.
Oh, 3D Blu-ray. Was it a 3D movie,
Blu-ray?
Steve?
I don't know. I was going through the Saw movies in anticipation of Saw X.
It's probably Saw 3D.
But I don't think it was Saw 3D though.
No,
I think it was like Saw 5 or something. It was halfway through my rewatch.
Did you download the Blu-ray player app?
Yes. Yeah, I have it on there.
Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, did you try turning it on and off and throwing?
No, and you know why?
it?
This is exactly why we got to ditch physical media, because it's just not convenient for us. Put in a disc, it should just work. If it's not, well, then let's let it go.
You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen though. Like as soon as you get a movie, and then you're like, oh, I want to watch it again. 20 years, it's gonna be gone because they're like, we don't want to hold it on our server anymore. They're gonna just take it away.
That's fair. You. That's the thing too. That's the thing I'm afraid of with the whole like being on a digital storefront or in streaming service is that those movies can just go. Like they're gone. Like you can just like they happen all. That happens all the time. Movies just kind of. That's why like I would love to get rid of a lot of my subscription services that I have because I don't use like say Netflix as much as I used to or whatever. But I keep it because one movie or one TV show may disappear on one service and appear on another.
Star Trek is that right now. Star Trek used to, and now it's all on Paramount Plus, and it's just like, okay, well, good thing I had both. But the other one is on Disney. They went through this weird anime phase where they had Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. I was trying to catch up with the new episodes. It's not there. It's like, how can you introduce a series to your platform before the series is complete and then just remove it?
Yeah, I mean, they even even for Doctor Who is like say the big splash. They're going to be on Disney Plus, but if you look at the fine print, it's only the new seasons of Doctor Who starting this year, and the old series like they're going to pop up or Geolock or whatever.
I think we're crossing two different streams here, where like streaming services, it sucks when things like move around and everything. But is there any like major like marketplace that has shut down that sold you movies? Because like as far as I know, like Microsoft Store, Apple, like iTunes, the Amazon Store, like I don't see those things
Warner
going
Brothers
away.
Have one that closed.
They did, yeah. They had like, I think it was all tied to when you would buy the DVDs or Blu-rays, you get that redeem code. Yeah, there was that service that was being used.
Are you guys buying digital copies of movies or just waiting for it to come out on streaming services though? Because I'm curious with that.
Like, obviously there is the option, but if I see like, Amazon $5 or like wait 3 months, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to wait 3 months.
Yeah.
Same here. So I feel like just sales in like digital movies, like digital physical copies, like I feel like this is, maybe it's like something that's going to be coming to digital stores where it's like, we kind of see it. It's like movies are just going straight from theater into these streaming services instead of releasing for purchase digitally, right?
Yeah.
Because they're banking on more money if you're subscribing to their streaming services, because you're more than likely, if you're like me, going to forget to cancel the service after you watch the movie. So then you have this subscription service for a lot longer than you anticipated, and they make more money off of you.
Yeah.
So
especially like if you bought a movie digitally, like say off of iTunes or whichever, do you actually own that, or do you just have you just own the digital license to stream it? Yeah. So it's. Because if it needs to connect to the internet in order for you to be able to watch it and play it, then what happens then? Because my dad, he has all the streaming services and stuff like that, but he just finds like, hey, if there's a movie he wants to watch, he'll go to iTunes, and he has like probably. I think he has a giant collection of just digital movies that he's bought off of iTunes, and like
I have a big one too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, what happens if all of a sudden iTunes is like, we're done, we're out.
Yeah, where's that library go? Way bigger problems if Apple goes bankrupt or anything like that. I think that's more than just preservation of a movie platform, because that's just like cataclysmic on a tech scale. If Apple or Microsoft or Amazon go under, then we're like, I think we're in big trouble at that point. That's
we're all going to Steve to watch movies.
That's not just about PlayStation 5. That's going to be. What are we doing now?
Looking for Blu-rays.
Yeah.
But what do you think happens to because I'm trying to think, before VHS, I don't know what people watched back then, but my parents never had any of those laying around, whatever it was that they watched things on, if they did watch things on them. Like, the only things that my parents had...
Are you talking about a VCR?
Well, was there something before VCR?
There was
Betamax, and then there was laser discs.
Oh, yeah.
They had Betamax, but we never had that lying around, like in terms of like how you would have VHS lying around the house.
You just
also
go to the
I think
theater.
because also like the VHS, like you would re-record over things, like if you had family movies and stuff like that, or you wanted to catch like a music video or episodes of Sailor Moon, which my sister ruined by watching music videos on my VHS and saving them there. But anyways, like I just feel like, what do we do now with these physical copies? Because yes, Steve, I hear you. It's like physical copies, like it's inconvenient, but it's like they're memories. I don't want to just throw them away. The box art, Page Master. I got a DVD of that because I wanted to watch it all over again in the box art.
I mean, I totally feel you, but at the same point, it's like the same conversation could be made about VHSs.
I have so many VHS still.
Really?
Like at a certain point, I think that they become like nostalgic pieces, and I'm sure at some point in our lifetime, VHS players are going to come back in a similar way like record players have, and it's going to become
or you'll get like cool like things like this.
Nice.
Yeah. This is from Limited Run Games. They basically created a Force Unleashed Nintendo Switch case to look like a VHS case. So I'm like, I agree with you. Like box art is such a cool thing to have have physical copies of that I would love to be able to see happen. But it's just like it's also that same thing. It's like, okay, is it going to take up a place on a shelf somewhere and collect dust, or am I ever actually going to use it? I don't know. I mean, again, go back to the original story. I think Best Buy ending it is not a big deal per se if we could still buy it physically somewhere, but I mean, I
think the reality is that it's just not profitable for Best Buy anymore.
Yeah.
Well, what do you go to Best Buy for now?
50% of sales,
washers.
50% of like physical. What was the stat there? Like 50%. Who was saying that?
Of games are still physical.
Games.
I mentioned it,
games.
Yeah.
That's games.
Yeah, more probably.
I wonder how much for movies. Like, what is the profit? Because like usually you want like at least a 40% profit margin. I'd say if it's not broke, like don't fix it, right? If it's making more than 40% profit on it, is that like, I feel like they're just spending a lot of money getting rid of these DVDs.
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna be there for the sale though.
Honestly, this makes me want to buy like a VHS player now. So I'm like, let me just
push
go
the
grab
whole
it. So
bin
I have
out.
it.
I'll take the whole bin.
You also have to keep in mind is like, yes, okay, they're not going to sell them in store. They'll probably have them online for like
special orders and everything like that.
There's no cost. You don't have to ship them all. Like, it's just like, buy the one. It's just much easier. It's much like your losses are kind of like figured out. You figured out the whole picture in that one go. It's like you pre-order it, you buy it. It's like, there you go. That's it. You can buy straight from the supplier and do it that way. And I think that's probably what they'll do.
It'll be interesting because if Best Buy makes this move, say other companies make this move as well, do then studios just say, we're not going to release, like try to sell these physical copies and instead just either release it in streaming services or just digital?
I think they're going to be like a bit of both. Like there's no like you don't really need to prioritize that at that point. I think what they'll probably do is, I don't know if you guys saw, but in the States, Disney announced like 100 film collection for the 100th anniversary. Walmart exclusive in the US, by the way. But these things are, hey, there you go. But like those sorts of things, those sorts of initiatives are based entirely on like, that's like a higher end clientele in the sense that collectors are going to want that. You get the little crystal statue and 100 films on Blu-ray digital. So it's like Blu-ray and digital, you get both. So you can actually like open the box, take out the code, punch it in, and get all your films on Apple, and then just put that on a shelf and never touch it again. So like these sorts of things are going to be more common, I think. And I think we see a shift now for gaming making similar things. Analog just announced like a 4K N64 model coming out.
Saw that.
We're gonna see the vinyl record players kind of shift in, and so these things will always kind of be around.
And to be honest, like the shift has been happening right under our nose. I mean, how many games are shipping where you're not even getting the game on the disc anymore? It's just a license key that you're putting into your console. Yep. I mean, they've been doing this for years. And I think, with games like Alan Wake 2 coming out this month, going just all digitally, writing's on the wall at this point.
Yeah. And that's even with the gaming side too. Like that's what Phil Spencer talked about on Kind of Funny, and the fact that that's what Xbox failed at was during the Xbox One generation. They failed at the fact that everyone's going digital, and when they went digital, they lost that race because people weren't switching to different consoles because a lot of their library was on one console, and they kind of were sort of stuck with it. So as that kind of future kind of comes to happen, I think that's why we have like services like that's why they went with Game Pass, because it's like, okay, well, we like at least you have a sort of a floating library to different devices, and so that's great. But yeah, I mean, it just
they're leading the charge in digital now with Game Pass and everything like that.
But I definitely we're still gonna get, I think for movies, games already do this kind of, but I think we're gonna see more of it is like the limited run collections.
Yes.
Limited run games. That could easily be translated, to movies as well. I think they actually have like a Jurassic Park retro
They
guide.
do, yeah.
So
they
like
do.
they can keep doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I bought one for my brother. It was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like Shredder's Revenge ones, and it came in like a similar like VHS box like kind of set, and it came with a coupon for Pizza Hut, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's also like the Criterion collection that comes out for specific movies and stuff like that. I can definitely see them taking a shift for like limited run games kind of comparison.
Yeah, like there's definitely going to be room for it because hobbyists and like fans will want that stuff, but I think just like the prominence of it in stores is going to shift.
Just say nerds like us. I know you want it. We're
nerds like us. They're going to buy the physical copies.
Is that Disney box coming in the vault? That was like their thing.
Like the big
thing.
Yes, I think so.
I think
that should be the Disney vault's back. Type of thing.
Buy the whole ass vault.
Buy the whole vault. This is your chance.
Yeah, it's
limited time only.
I think it's like $2,000 or something.
I wouldn't do it.
It's expensive. Yeah, I was looking up the price for it now.
Well, see, I don't need to because I have all my original VHS tape just sitting in my living room.
Yeah, or you can have Disney Plus, and it's
How do we feel about them releasing more behind-the-scene footage of Aladdin with?
With Genie and actual Robin Williams' voice.
Williams' voice.
The Once Upon a Studio or whatever, that thing that came out?
I believe they're releasing like an actual extended cut of Aladdin, like a short or whatever. With that is like all these stuff they cut from the original Aladdin.
They have this short for the 100-year celebration of animation, and they have voice clips from Robin Williams' Genie as part of that, and he actually shows up and reprises his role as Genie, which was kind of nice. They had permission from the family and everything like that.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, I was gonna say as long as the family's okay, I'm like that's freaking awesome because that's my childhood. That was my favorite show.
Did you guys watch that at Once Upon a Studio thing that came out?
I watched the trailer.
It's on Disney Plus. It's a Disney fan. It's like the perfect kind of like it's just so good. Like there's one moment because there's a clip that kind of like went around that I got touched by was because you see at one point Mickey, because they're all the Walt Disney Studios, like the animation studios, and you see Mickey looking at the wall and it's a picture of Walt, and it's an emotional moment because for me because also in the background is a slight piano of Feed the Birds, and I'm getting teary actually thinking about this because that's my favorite Disney song ever is that one. Wow. And I found out that it was also Walt's favorite song. And he would have, if you haven't watched it, there's a great documentary called The Boys, and it's about the Sherman Brothers, and they are like one of the two prominent composers that Walt Disney would go to compose music for. Like they created It's a Small World After All.
So not the one with Homelander.
No, not the one.
That's on Amazon Prime, right?
Not the one Homelander. No. It's not that voice. And they did stuff for Winnie the Pooh. And also they wrote and composed all the music for Mary Poppins. And Feed the Birds was Walt's favorite and he would actually have Dick Sherman in his come to Walt's office, and there was a piano in there, and he would come and have Dick play that song for him. Just because as he's looking out the window or whatever, and it was such a great kind of if you're a giant Disney fan, you would catch it and know that that's his favorite song, but it was just I love it. It was so good. Go check it out. It's on Disney Plus. I think it's a 6-minute thing.
Bad. I'm just in Halloween mode of just rewatching.
Oh yeah, they got a huge collection of that. Yeah.
Right now, on Disney Plus. So.
By the way, that entire Disney Vault collection is $1,500.
There you go.
Oh my god.
US, I guess.
US.
Right? So 2,000. Yeah. All right.
Sorry. Funny enough, wait, Steamboat Willie, that's public domain next year. So the first iteration of Mickey Mouse is public domain next year.
True. How do we incorporate that into the podcast?
It's coming up. It's coming right up.
How do we get
that Mickey Mouse illusion?
He'll be our
Mickey
new logo
illusion.
real fast.
The third Winnie the Pooh horror movie it's going to be him teaming up with Steamboat Willie. Watch.
You're just going to be hearing whoo.
Yeah.
I like. So the thing about Tigger is he's in the new horror movie for Pooh, right?
Yeah.
I like how they had to wait a couple of years for him to become public domain because he wasn't initially one of the characters. Now we got Tigger. It's all right. You can ruin him too. Yeah.
Unreal.
But not only that, we also got Aaron. Aaron, what's going on? How's it doing?
Hey, it's going good. I just came from doing some stuff I can't talk about currently, but I will be able to talk about pretty soon. And yeah, I'm happy. Sorry I joined late.
No,
I got into the middle of the conversation. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I know Camille was definitely missing me talking about that. Death Stranding was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Well, I guess we learned that Aaron can say no. We were talking off the top. We're like, it's really hard to say no in this industry, to opportunities, and I'm learning how to say no. Mm-hmm. And we were all like, no, we just say yes to everything. And I was like, say Death Stranding is good. Death Stranding is good. Yeah, yay or nay. No. Everyone was like, yay. You didn't get the cue. And now you've been voted off.
Well, wait, no, don't we have a clip of him saying that Death Stranding is good?
That's true. Yeah, you can go back on your
We're good.
It does not sound edited or weirdly placed at all.
Yeah. No,
it was just it was buffering. That's all. It was buffering.
And you trying to go back on your word. We know you love it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't wait. He can't wait for it to come to iPhone 15 Max.
I don't know about that.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. So. Matt Mercer is playing Vincent Valentine, upcoming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Thank you. Yes. What isn't he doing? He's Ganondorf. Now he's Vincent.
God, I love.
He's
Matt
having
Mercer.
a year.
He's having a great year.
He's been having 5 years. He's been just
he's one of those names you hear a lot. Is Matt Mercer's playing so and so. I was like, well, all right, Matt Mercer's voicing me now.
I know he's been in the industry for a while, but do you think he's the new Troy Baker of the fact that Troy's in everything?
I think it's getting to that point. Sure.
An argument. I can see it.
But I'm a huge. Well, Laura Bailey too. Huge D&D nerd. So he's God. He's my Messiah. So I'm super excited.
I have a secret. He follows me on Twitter, and I'm so afraid to ever message him or anything. Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
Occasionally I'll pop up in his comments, be like,
"Get him on the show right now."
I've never talked to him. I've never spoken to him.
There's been so many instances where I'm playing video games, and I'm just that man on the street. That's Matt Mercer, and it happens so often too. Even especially Last of Us, the whole cast of Critical Role are in those games.
The games. So I'm just looking at his IMDb. Firstly, Mortal Kombat Legends cage match.
Yeah.
He was he's director and bully, voice of the bully in that.
I guess so.
What does this guy do? Okay.
Those little anime movies, they'll
put anyone on
They'll put anybody in there. Yeah.
I mean, if you just take a look at the Critical Role cast in and of itself, you got the legends of voiceover just right there, from anime to
English
video
dubs.
games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Matt, also Starfield as Ezekiel, right? Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's in League of Legends.
Yeah.
Overwatch, of course.
Overwatch. Yeah.
Well, Ganondorf. I'm just looking at this year. Jedi Survivor. He was also additional voices there. We got, what else did he do this year? Well, a lot of Midnight Suns. This guy's in everything this year.
Like literally all of them. Even
Fire Emblem.
Travis Willingham. He was Roy Mustang in Brotherhood.
Yeah. He was Thor for like the longest time.
Yeah. He's also in Baldur's Gate 3, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yep.
Caboose, he plays the male version of Hunter.
Oh, right.
That's right. He does. Yeah. He also is the voice of the male guardian in Destiny.
Yep.
Wait, he's Crom and Fire Emblem? What the hell? I didn't know.
Everyone.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone.
Wait a minute.
Laura Bailey too. If you've watched an anime, she's there.
Laura Bailey, MJ, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Good for him.
If you hear Matt Mercer's in the game, you're like, oh shit, this game's gonna be like
It's been elevated.
This game's like, I don't care how many bugs are in this game. I'm buying it. You know, like.
I'm trying to think. Like, you know, when we were comparing him to Troy Baker, right?
Yeah.
When you hear Troy Baker in something, yes, they're in an amazing game called Death Stranding, but. Also,
you mean The Last of Us?
I thought you were going to say Last of Us. I literally thought you were going to say Last of Us.
I have no idea what The Last of Us is. Has no clue whatsoever.
But when we hear of like Troy Baker, do we there are some roles where we could clearly identify it's Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other roles. You think every single one?
Every single one. He is like to Sammy. That's my Matt Mercer. Like anytime that Troy's on screen, like Call of Duty, even if it's like a supporting character, usually I can be like, oh, that's Troy.
The ones I immediately recognize are definitely Matt, Troy, Laura, Ashley Johnson, Ashley Burke too. Like,
I
actually feel like Troy, like in Far Cry, he played Pagan Ming. That was very different.
Yeah.
Like, he actually nailed that.
I'm terrible with figuring out like, oh, that's so-and-so's voice. I think the only time I've ever done that in recent memory was when Yuri was voicing Smoke in Mortal Kombat. Right. And it's pretty much because it's just Yuri Lowenthal's voice, and I've been playing the Spider-Man games for as much as I have, so it's like that voice is like ingrained into my brain. Even when I pick up a Spider-Man comic, I'm hearing his voice in my head when I'm reading off of Spider-Man's lines, you know? So like that's probably the only time I was able to recognize the voice. Other than that, like
I think because Matt Mercer is a DM, he's using like 3,000 voices a year.
Oh yes.
So I've heard every rendition of his voice. So I can be like,
do you feel like it's dynamic? Like his voice is dynamic like that?
Because,
like I didn't know Troy Baker was in Star Trek.
He probably does the sound effects for games too and everything.
Oh, he does.
I'm trying to see like if there's Diablo. I'm trying to think of like, do we like having the same actor? Like they're both great and amazing, but do we want more dynamic voices, or do just play devil's advocate over here? Or do we like seeing these?
You'd want to have as many like new faces.
Sure.
100%
coming into the industry, but like sometimes it's like this is a really important role. Like this, it's like we need like the top performer. It's like when you're making like that Oscar movie, it's like, oh, you got to get like a DiCaprio or Daniel Day-Lewis or something like that, right? Like that's just.
But accompany it with the younger voices.
A good supporting cast, some new faces, people who are just as talented, who may need like that foot in the door. That stuff's important too.
Like, I don't see. I don't think
Miles Morales in Spider-Man, like Najee Jeter. Like how many? Like I think this is what Miles Morales was his first role or something.
No, he's the voice of Sam in The Last of Us.
Oh, that's right. He is Sam in The Last of Us. Yeah. But still, it's like
still not as known. Or
no, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that was especially too with what he was able, or what the opportunity for Najee with the Spider-Man games was, it's his face too. It's not just his voice. You know, that's actually something that separates him from even Yuri Lowenthal. Is a lot of people will be able to recognize even him on the street and be like, oh, like you're Miles Morales. Like that's. I think that's
unlike
really
Yuri,
cool.
who has had like 2 faceovers and he still can't get recognized.
I know. Yeah,
but Yuri, it's kind of good.
Over that.
Yeah, true.
I think I'd want that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine from that perspective, you'd prefer like that people don't recognize you as much on the street, but still.
I had no idea Troy Baker was the bitter squirrel in God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is him.
Like, I just don't expect them. I don't expect them to play like Mario or something like that. I'll be like,
not
we're thinking of the squirrel.
No, not that. You know how there's the smaller squirrels, the glowy ones, not
right. Oh, not Radagaster. Yeah.
But
okay, because I was like, that's someone else. I know that.
One. Like it's just interesting. Like I like to hear when these actors, these voice actors that are just so amazing at performance. And like I'm just gonna say great actors, because you look at Troy Baker and like even what he brings when he is mocap. Yeah. It's like I really do like to be surprised sometimes when I don't know their voices. And I'm just like, oh crap, like I'm being surprised. I didn't know he was in this and this. And I think also like I think you guys talked about this last week, but like now that we know who the new voice actor is for Mario, I think that choice to have Kevin Afghani, it's also like when you have that fresh voice that no one really knows of, you could mold it into that personality for this huge franchise as well. So it gives you that opportunity, similar to what Miles is doing, like the Miles Morales and what Insomniac and Sony are doing there.
Yeah. All right, Troy Baker in the medium is like he's scary. He's creepy. Spooky,
super spooky.
You anything against him, you're like, that's Troy Baker, and you're like, wow.
I mean, the thing is, when you hire those, like whether you're like a Troy Baker, Matt Mercer level, or like Laura Bailey level, like, or you're just kind of starting out, pretty much if you look at a lot of credits of video games, you see even the big ones that are just labeled as additional voices, because they're consistent. They can basically like come in, out, just record some quick things, and then they're like in and out, and some of them probably even forget that they're even in those games.
You're not even credited on like IMDb or anything, because it's
exactly.
Small.
So I mean, like, and that happens. Like that's a whole other conversation too about being credited in the industry. I mean, I've had that happen to me. But anyway, it's really cool to be able to like the fact that Matt is that's a new story, that Matt is officially going to be in Final Fantasy VII, and that became a huge gaming story. I'm like, yeah, way to go, Matt.
That's crazy. Like, imagine, like, as a kid, have no idea for, like, some of these franchises that you love. Like, oh, you're going to be a part of them.
And you start as a game tester. So they're testing Ubisoft games out there. That could be you one day.
I mean, not even the fact that he's just Vincent, but he's also Ganondorf this year. Like, come on. Like, that's a dream come true for any kid who wants to do it.
Such a good job.
Oh, he's so good at it. Oh, my God. Oh, creepy as fuck, but great.
Pete Hines is leaving Bethesda. I guess after the announcement, he's like, all right, I'm done. I'm leaving this big emerging thing. I mean, I don't see this as a surprise, because with Starfield officially over, that was supposed to be his last hurrah, and now they're moving on to like Elder Scrolls or anything like that. Did this come to surprise anyone else, or that Pete Hines? I mean, 25 years now, is it, or?
It's quite a long tenure for sure. I think it was 24 years in total, but just shy of like a quarter of a decade.
Just missed the Starfield conception.
I mean, is it surprising? Sure. It was, unexpected, I think, more than anything, but the timing of it feels right. Starfield is in a good spot, both like market wise, and it's out on people's consoles. It's in a good spot. It got a good reception and everything. And hell, I'm sure he got that Bethesda bag and was just like, I'm gonna sleep. I'm taking a long nap from now on.
A long nap for a while,
So good for him. I mean, I have only but well wishes for him. He gets to spend time with his family. He left Bethesda in a good spot. I love seeing Pete up on stage talking to the community. He was a great voice and figure for the company. But at this point, if you feel like you've done everything, move on. Why not?
I also feel like I wonder if this was negotiated with the sale of Bethesda. Like he might have had his
maybe.
Planned.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Good for him. I don't know if it was planned. That's what I meant. I don't know if it was planned. I feel like, I mean, they had lots of money to plan it.
There's a lot of redundancies in a company like that, right? So, and he's such a major figurehead that it wouldn't surprise me if it was something that they talked about during the acquisition.
Yeah, I would probably that was probably some early conversations with it, but then also it's possible he may have planned to be able to do it early in the year, but kind of maybe not the best timing with Redfall and then seeming like he's jumping ship. But I'm glad that he was able to leave on his own terms. And I mean, it doesn't say that he's retiring. It just means that he's leaving Bethesda. So who knows?
Might rest and do his own thing, or
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
he is retiring though, right?
He's retiring from Bethesda.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's Tom Brady
that's
retiring.
Confusing.
Interesting.
I am retiring and will begin an exciting new chapter of my life, exploring interests and passions. Donating
the PlayStation
my time.
president also is retiring from PlayStation. Retiring. So
that's true.
Are we
I guess
seeing
they
like a
have to say
change?
they're retiring.
Yeah,
That was
but
the
like
stipulation
there's
of their
been
contract.
so many figureheads just like within the last couple of months leaving. Are we just gonna see like a complete change in gaming, like the atmosphere?
I wouldn't count the Unity. I wouldn't count the Unity guy. I just want to throw that out there. So.
Yeah, we won't count the
or Bobby Kotick either.
Or Bobby Kotick.
Okay.
They don't count.
I think we've seen this change, this shift, right? Like, as long we don't want to admit it, but we are getting older. For Pete, he's been at Bethesda since like 1914, and he started off doing manual. So like great success to his career, going on and doing amazing things with them. I think it makes sense. People are going to retire, but hopefully their impact on, the products that their companies are putting out and the legacy that they brought inspires like that newer generation or whoever takes over. So there is I think change is good, but hopefully it's not too much change where, we start to lose faith in what they're producing. And, after Starfield, I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I think we're at the point now where we're in the second generation of game developers who are in that sort of retiring from the age. Like we've already had the folks from the 80s, from the Nintendo era, retiring and kind of leaving the video game world behind, and then now we're kind of like from folks from the 90s, so like Pete or I mean, I would imagine Todd Howard might be someone who's probably thinking about retiring at any given time. So the ones that we grew up with in the 90s, essentially, I think it's about time. Like it's about that time where they would think about retiring, and then I think it's good because that means like a newer generation can come in and help propel the gaming industry forward. I mean, we'll probably still have some stalwarts in the industry that'll stick around. I mean, heck, like I would probably imagine it, like unless he's going to do it soon, I could see Phil Spencer being basically doing like the head of Xbox for a long time because he just doesn't want to leave the video game industry anytime soon. But folks like Pete, like Reggie, I mean, him retiring a couple years ago. I think we're starting to kind of see that, like the folks that we grew up with are in that sort of it's time to hang up the controller, so to speak.
Oh man, it just hit me. We're no longer the target demographic of these games. And that hurts a little bit. No,
I don't know. I mean, the average age of gamers is starting to skew older and older.
Yeah, so, I think we were like the initial wave of gamers, and like when games were becoming popular when we were younger, it's like, no, our parents weren't gaming as hard as we were, right?
Yeah.
But because now we've had a couple generations grow up with games, I think like the average age for gamers is now like 20 to 35. Is like target demographic for a lot of companies right now. So it's like we're still in that.
I'm still hanging in there.
We're still They come way past that at this point. I should retire probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna lump in with you guys just because I want them to make Banjo-Kazooie for me. So
I need it.
Catering to us, please.
Bring hot Gruntilda back, please.
No, she was never hot.
What do you mean, Banjo-Kazooie?
Whoa! When she gets. I mean, I'm not gonna. No, I don't need to say much more. But
you got to play the second game.
When she takes Tootie, it's the first one. Right?
Is it the end of the first one?
I think it's the first one.
If you lose.
Oh, okay.
Don't objectify her. She's a witch.
I feel like Rare did a good enough job of
knowledge of spells.
Listen, you don't know. She could have been my sexual awakening as a kid. You just don't know. I love Gruntilda.
Back to retirement.
What happened?
Gruntilda is a baddie. That's what we've confirmed.
Oh my god!
This episode.
That Damn it, Pete Hines.
so
This is what happens when you retire, Pete Hines. People get out of
Who do we think is next? Because, you mentioned Phil Spencer. Like, I don't think we'll see him retire soon, but wouldn't it be amazing if he, he's getting up there. He probably wants to, like, get some time to rest. If he, like, really, I think he's done a great job reviving Xbox as a brand, but if he really makes them, just, like, get that extra oomph after all these acquisitions and then just say, hey, peace out. My legacy, and like that's pretty cool.
And then Sarah Bond steps in or something like that. I could see.
I could see Sarah stepping in.
Yeah,
He definitely seems positioned for the role. Yeah.
Or Matt Booty, either one of those two. But I would love to see Sarah.
Yeah, Matt Booty too is very good.
I just don't think Phil. I don't think Phil has hit his full like Infinity War arc.
He's missing 3 more gems.
He's still missing a couple gems in that gauntlet of his. Yeah.
He's still in his Iron Man 3 era where he's talking to Banner at the time, laying on the couch, and he's like, listen, you could not believe the Xbox One era. We screwed up.
Has Miyamoto retired?
No,
or he just leaning back.
Retire. He'll never retire.
Isn't he kind of in that sort of roles? Yeah, isn't he kind of like that Mario ambassador stage essentially? Yeah. He doesn't actually he doesn't direct or produce games anymore.
Yeah, he just gets in. He's basically like, he'll go and he'll like oversee something, or if someone's pitching something, he'll be present for it. But he'll be like, oh, I'm overseeing the movie or the theme parks, or I'll be in the presentation.
Probably just in the room napping.
Shake hands.
He's the Walt Disney of Nintendo, essentially, right?
Yeah.
True.
I don't know if he owns any of it, so just made all.
I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of like Blizzard top people leaving now with the acquisition. Well, we'll see.
There's definitely going to be an exodus. Well, we know that. Kodak is leaving at the end of the fiscal, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to oversee. He's overseeing some of the. They'll make some changes, but I would imagine there'll be a purge of.
Do we think Todd Howard will be a part of it?
No,
not a chance.
Not until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
I think there was I can't remember which podcast I was listening to, but someone said like that Todd had said that he has still games that he wants to make.
Nice.
Like
doing Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's true. He's also
he was very hyped about that.
Yeah.
I mean, even beyond Elder Scrolls, there's still Fallout 5. Like, I think Todd's got at least another decade in him before
he's probably got maybe a Starfield 2 in him at some point. Yeah. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
53, still young.
There really aren't many of like the celebrity game developers anymore. They're not really around. So them getting rid of Todd Howard would be a huge mistake. I think that would I'd be like, what? Like, Elder Scrolls isn't going to be overseen by Todd Howard. Like, Fallout's not going to be overseen by Todd Howard. Like, those sorts of reveals when it's time to like bring those IPs out, you got to have him at the front of that.
Yeah, I think there were certain ones. You got your Kojimas, your Sakurais, your Todd Howard is definitely up there. Like to your point, if you bring out a new Elder Scrolls game and it's not a Todd Howard joint, then it kind of feels like it loses its magic, you know? Yeah.
Fun fact about Todd Howard that ties this podcast. Both Riley and I both met him at the same time.
We did. We also met Pete Hines.
We also met Pete Hines too.
So you guys are the reason.
You're the reason why he's like,
whoops. You're pushing Todd out, huh?
I looked Pete in the eyes and I said, "It's time, buddy."
Yeah. I saw it happen.
You did mention
his hands like,
he's like, I don't feel like I should retire.
Go be with your dogs, Pete. Go be with
I feel like after he met you two, he was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to retire because of you boys. You guys just made me feel like retiring. But we did mention Kojima. I don't think he'll ever retire. But I will say I've been creeping his Instagram, as we all have, to figure out who may be making appearances.
I will not confirm these allegations. We all have. I am not creeping anyone.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. BFFs, they're cooking something up. They've done more than one like hangout session. They've been. I'm in.
Jordan Peele's been killing it for horror, and I mean Kojima.
I mean, he was working with Guillermo del Toro on the Silent Hill game before that got.
He worked with them on Death Stranding too,
and then he worked with them on Death Stranding. I mean, we all wish we could forget, but like the fact now that he's like meeting up with Jordan Peele, like they're definitely cooking.
What do you think? Is it the Xbox exclusive game or is it Death Stranding 2?
I don't even care. I don't think it's that. It may be both. Honestly, I could totally see Kojima and them as well because they know who Kojima is, and just being like, I'll make this cameo. Although we're working on this other game, I'll make this cameo in this game you have coming up. This highly anticipated game.
Ooh, wait. What if it's the reverse? What if it's Jordan Peele making a Kojima movie?
I mean, honestly,
that'd be
if
dope.
we're being like realistic,
yeah.
it's probably Jordan Peele in Death Stranding 2 as like a hologram. If we're being totally honest, I think
it's gonna mean more than that. We just won't know until way further down the line. I think because there's been multiple posts at least of them hanging out or doing something together, right?
That's true. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know, in this industry that something like that is not as
they're doing something.
Yeah.
No, and they like the weird stuff. Like I feel like their minds would just click like creatively.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I would love to see whether it's a film, whether it's a game. I would just love to see what those two minds could cook up together.
100%.
What will be the name of their, like it has to be one single word because that's Jordan Peele's style of a horror movie.
Death.
I mean, maybe.
Death.
Not everything has to have death in the title.
Death. It can't be Nope because that's done already.
That's done.
Hey, well, Get Out was 2 words.
Get Out was 2.
Well, then he realized he's like, oh, I'm gonna lose another word.
And then it was what? Us. Nope.
Us.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, if he's doing the 2 words thing, it's probably Death Stranding.
Damn.
Damn.
Damn's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Making a movie about called Damn.
Yeah.
Did they announce a Death Stranding series or movie? Was that announced?
No, he wanted a movie adaptation.
There is a Metal Gear movie in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I don't think Kojima's involved in that.
I mean, if you were to just watch the cutscenes for Death Stranding, it is a great movie.
It really
Just
is.
stop. That's all we need to hear.
The unfortunate reality is that takes up a large majority of the game. But like, I mean, I would be down to see a Death Stranding movie.
So
apparently it's in the works.
Definitely doing Death Stranding, right?
There's even a director's cut as well, so.
Yeah, they're doing the director's cut. Saw that on Twitter.
Somebody at PlayStation needs to figure out how we can fast track the Ghost of Tsushima movie like now.
Yes.
Like
agreed.
I need that tomorrow.
I need it. And then I also need them to be able to make that, but then also release a cut to theaters too. That's the Kurosawa mode.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
yes, please.
That'd be really cool.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I'd be down for that.
Seriously.
Well, thanks to Pete Hines. Sadly, your last thing you did was bring 60 FPS to Redfall. So, but thank you for your services, sir.
Wow. Pete, this is going to be your legacy now.
That's your legacy. That's the last thing to remember.
You did it, folks.
You did it. Thanks. He's like, I can now sleep, But
he's updating his LinkedIn.
His final rest has ended.
Activision, Blizzard, and King has officially joined Xbox at long last. Woo! After we finally made it, folks.
Over.
We finally made it. We're at the last stop.
It's only
We're at the last
just begun, really.
I know.
Yeah. True.
This is just for Phil to continue the Thanos comparisons. This is just the Power Stone for him, Like, he's only got one in there. He's waiting to get like 5 more now, right? Like this really is.
It's a gauntlet of studios.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
You know who's next?
I can
Have
officially
you been
say
seeing what Microsoft's been up to these last couple of years?
Oh,
I can see him just like framing the business cards of the CEOs on his wall.
Yeah, there you go. I can officially say now, though. I can officially say now, though. I am now Phil Spencer's problem.
There you go. Yay.
That should be on the business card.
Yeah. That'd be great. But yeah, so like for those who don't know, I work with Call of Duty, so I'm a contractor for Raven. So I guess that makes me an Xbox, contractor too. But so yeah, it's finally over. That was funny.
Over. Like I don't want to hear about it anymore. I'm glad.
I know.
Oh,
You know what's funny?
So sorry to tell you, Aaron. You're gonna hear
it's
about
only
it
beginning
for a while.
Yeah.
All the people,
As long as
all
I'm
the
not hearing about Death
jokesters
Stranding.
out there there who are like, "Oh, I'm so glad it's over."
All the Steve Mondays out there.
Yeah, all the Steve Mondays out there who think it's over is just because. I mean, the FTC is still trying to barge down the door and say, "No, this is over. Like we're gonna, destroy
also,
this
now
deal and
Ubisoft's
everything."
involved.
but it's done. It's
done.
The deal is done. Yeah,
The deal is done, but
A deal's a deal.
yeah.
This story
A deal's a deal is a deal, guys.
A deal's a deal.
Like this started. You gotta remember, this started 20 months ago.
Yeah.
20 months. We've been talking about
a long
this.
time.
And this is the biggest deal in tech history, right?
yeah.
This is one of the biggest. Yeah.
That's the coolest.
The
thing.
only
Like,
thing that could well, I guess this wouldn't be tech, but the only thing in terms of acquisition that would be this big is if the rumors are true and like Apple buys Disney.
yeah.
That would be
That would be
ultimate.
insane.
It'd be the
If that
ultimate.
happens, the world's ending.
Yeah.
Was that like a $250 billion purchase? Like,
think
what would
that's
that
what
be?
they
Yeah, but they
estimated
have
it.
that in jump change. Like it's in their vault.
Oh man, I
That's
hope not.
bonkers.
I love Google and all, but man, just some things. Just I really want them to just stay as they are. You know, it's like too much monopoly.
Yeah.
I mean, what's crazy?
But Xbox, right?
Well, what's crazy is to like put it in comparison. Star Wars was acquired for $4 billion.
Yup.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
They stole it.
That's
Pocket
true.
change.
Yeah.
It's pocket change, yeah.
What was the Marvel purchase for Disney?
I think even less because they
I think
were
it was less.
They were
They were
$4
doing
billion.
that.
Yeah.
$4 billion
that as well.
They were struggling a bit though. Like Disney
Yeah.
definitely like helped them get it. Kind
It was $4 billion. Yeah, $4 billion for Marvel.
How about
So I
Warner
mean,
Brothers
granted,
and DC?
both series, like both IPs and franchises, they weren't in the greatest of places at the time of the purchase.
True.
But just to think like the name power alone of Marvel Entertainment and Lucasfilm and Star Wars and everything is what like less than a tenth of a price that Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard for. That's how much Candy Crush has an impact of. I'm totally serious.
King's huge. That is
they make a
the reason
lot of
why.
money.
That is the reason why Microsoft bought it. It's like, yeah, sure, Activision Blizzard for whatever. They bought it for King.
Absolutely.
They totally bought it for King.
Call of Duty Mobile. Does King develop that for them?
No, actually,
That's an
still
Activision.
that is still within Activision.
That's
Yeah,
internal. Okay.
yeah. I mean, I think probably maybe King to provide support. I don't know. Like I'm talking out of my ass.
Blizzard has some
I
mobile
don't know.
games, Hearthstone, stuff like that. Like,
But it's the mobile games. And remember, I just remember when the Xbox Series X was revealed, Phil was talking about like really making waves in the Asia market and making sure that Xbox is a brand that the gamers there are familiar with and feel confident in. And I think like King in mobile games in general, like with Activision's COD Mobile, is definitely, I think, that mission for Xbox to do that, because dang, they have all the power right now. Pretty much, they are Thanos, and we must yield.
There's even talks of them buying Steam.
Yeah, I've heard
Steam
about
is
that
on
too.
the
Yeah,
list
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: they've with this purchase, they have now they've now put themselves squarely third with the highest value company or the company that makes the most amount of money in video games behind Tencent and Sony. They are now Xbox is officially Microsoft is officially third place for how much money they make off of video games.
They're getting that
That's a lot.
Genshin Impact money now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I was just looking it up though, but like real quick, Candy Crush per month just on iOS, like not including Android, 10 million a month. And how long has this game been out?
Wait,
long time.
users? 10 million users?
No,
money.
$10 million
Revenue.
buckaroos.
Why are people buying things in Candy Crush?
Extra lives, boosters.
Yeah.
Parents have a lot of extra money.
You gotta remember, this is not
those pension
Candy
money,
Crush
you know?
isn't aimed. Yeah, Candy Crush isn't aimed for like us, like gaming crowd.
More
It
core
is
gamers. Yeah.
It is for those like for moms, for kids
Waiting
that are
in
just
line
jumping
at the
in,
dentist,
waiting in
yeah.
line. Yep, it's your toilet kind of game. It's the thing you do at your 5-minute break at work. Like it's
Wait, whoa. Backtrack. Toilet kind of game.
Yeah, that's Midnight.
What's on our list
That's Marvel
for
Snap.
toilet games?
that's Marvel Snap.
That's
Yeah,
Marvel
true.
Snap.
That's Death Stranding.
I was gonna say that was the standing there.
Not yet. When it releases on the...
True.
Sum it up. It's coming up.
It will be. Its time is coming up.
Yeah, that's what I call my bathroom time too. Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's
what I call it.
It is a toilet game. I put it in the toilet, I flush it down, never to think about it again.
I swear.
I mean, I'm connecting with something, but I don't know. I can't say what it is.
Oh no.
So what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what does everyone want from this?
That was my same question. Yeah.
I was like, okay,
yeah.
Because I think that they're gonna pivot in some key areas to better assist with Game Pass and some of the other plans.
I
honestly think there's gonna be like a big wave of games coming out. Like you're okay, Spider-Man's coming out. Like they have a ton of Spider-Man games that Activision made, by the way. Like back in the day.
They
could throw those back.
Activision Spider-Man games pop up on Game Pass, I will lose my mind. Because
Activision made such a good middle finger.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
But I wonder how tricky that gets with the Marvel license specifically. Because yes, they are Activision games, but I wonder where under those contracts Marvel falls.
Might be an exclusivity deal with Sony.
They're
with the current titles, but like old legacy titles.
Older legacy titles, I don't know.
And that's the thing, right? And that's where I'm wondering, again, what say would Marvel have if Xbox were to be like, hey, we want to
because they weren't PlayStation exclusives. They were on like multiple consoles, right? They were on
it was all before the Sony deal, right?
Sure, before Sony, so that's the thing.
So many people think that because the movie rights were specifically to Sony, that's how it was for Spider-Man in general, but that was never the case until Insomniac Spider-Man. Like anything is related to Spider-Man media outside of those movies were like free reign for the public. I think even that was cartoons, merchandise, all that was Disney's money when it came to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
because
I think
that's the film rights.
It still is.
I think that Insomniac Spider-Man,
right now it is
merch rights, right?
Yes,
Disney owns all the merch rights to Spider-Man.
But again, it wasn't until Insomniac that there was anything like PlayStation related for Spider-Man.
No, because I think that if I remember correctly, I think Marvel Games or whatever, like I can't remember if it's Marvel Studios or Marvel Games, whatever. They basically, I think they started that specifically when Insomniac Spider-Man kind of came out. Like it was like that was their first big project specifically for Marvel. That's why Avengers was part of that banner. Midnight Suns is part of that banner, and like all the current games since
Capcom
then.
3.
Not the I think it's anything from Insomniac Spider-Man forward. That's part of the new Marvel Games banner.
Right.
Although Lego Marvel is fine, right? Because Spider-Man shows up in that, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, there's Spider-Man that's still popping up. I mean, Midnight Suns I think is cross-plat. I don't think there's anything Spider-Man related in Midnight Suns that's locked in.
Right.
No, he's in there.
Yeah,
he's in
there.
Yeah. So,
I think it's just I think like there's two things about this, like the consumer way of we're thinking, like kind of what Aaron was saying. It's like we're thinking there are these rights that like Sony has, but there are actually no rights. It's just that they made a very successful game, and because of that, Marvel's putting trust in Insomniac to do Wolverine and whatever other games will come from that. It will be total middle finger if Xbox is like, we got Spider-Man 2, we got nostalgia over there.
There's
Spider-Man 2's on Xbox and it's the movie game.
But like there's Web of Shadows, there's like Friend or Foe, Battle New York, Ultimate Spider-Man, like there's so many.
Ultimate Spider-Man is outside of the Insomniac stuff. Ultimate Spider-Man is my favorite Spider-Man game ever made. And so if that dropped again through Game Pass, just like I've played them again through like emulators and like even just I have an old Xbox. I have an old copy of Ultimate Spider-Man. I played it, but like I would love the opportunity to jump back in and just have that so easily accessible. But again, I don't know how muddy those contracts get. I'm not going to get my hopes up.
I would be surprised. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I would love to see that.
Cool. I would be surprised for a second. That was cool. I don't know if any of you guys downloaded it before it got delisted again.
I did. I wish.
Same.
It was back for like 0.5 seconds, and I mean, I love the Ultimate Alliance games.
Yeah. Although you know what, as a like talking about like potential like what this could do for a future Xbox, a little bit more of a realistic thing. Now again, I have zero knowledge about any of this, so don't like take whatever I say with like a complete grain of salt. But I mean, now that Call of Duty, I mean, they have Warzone, they have a battle royale. Imagine if they could be able to help. Who's the team that was supposedly making the Halo battle royale?
For the love of God, please!
Yes, they have the technology, they have the resources. Let's make a collab,
Master Chief
folks.
in Warzone 2. Do it.
Yes.
And Riley
tweeted that.
Riley, going back to your original question, that's what Xbox needs to do is full-fledged, like go and do like cross partnerships. Whether I'm not talking just like character integration into other things. I tweeted out, I want to see Master Chief, Doom Guy, all these Xbox, Marcus, all these people in Call of Duty and Warzone as operators. But I'm talking much more deeper than that. Activision needs to be all hands on with Halo moving forward. And I mean, 100%.
1,000%.
343 cannot make another game unless it's under Activision.
It's got to be similar to what PlayStation's doing with Bungie, where they got Bungie looking at some of the things that PlayStation wants to do multiplayer wise. That's got to be Activision with Halo. And
do we think it'll be too similar? Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the problem. That's where it could get muddied.
At least we would hope in our perfect fantasy world that if Activision were to be the ones that are overlooking 343 going forward, they'll understand and respect that Halo is Halo. And that it should stay always the way that it is. Like, I don't want Halo to go down to like a 2-second time, time to kill, thing like that.
But also like canceling and stuff.
You guys are talking about like Doom Guy and Master Chief and this and that and Warzone. Imagine if Halo had their own battle royale and Doom Guy was popping up in that. And Marcus Phoenix is popping, or General Ram.
You have like Ghost and Price and Tracer.
Why put money in those resources? I think like when you could do those crossovers, I think if we're looking at the foreseeable future, the next 5, maybe even 10 years, I think it's like what Steve is saying. We're going to see a lot of the cosmetic skins, crossovers, downloadable content. I think that's like more of the easier list stuff for them to do.
Absolutely.
And it's like a Halo Battle Royale would be amazing. But I think also if people were hearing about that and hearing Activision had their hand on it, I think there are concerns there, right? So it's like they would have to do it in a really interesting way where it's like they're putting trust in the consumer that this is still going to feel like Halo and it's going to be what you want rather than feel like Call of Duty.
I totally get you, Camille. The only thing that I'll always go back to is you can't get much lower than Halo Infinite right now. Like I know that people are popping off for season 5, and I know that there's still a burgeoning fan base there that will continue to come back and everything. But as far as like mass audience, mass consumer, they don't really care about Halo right now. And I think having someone like Activision come in and say, listen, we guided 343 into creating this. We helped them with their battle royale. That is an easy win.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I think we talked about this last time. I don't know if it was Riley who made the suggestion, but going all out with the Halo Battle Royale and having it available on all platforms.
All platforms, for free. Yeah.
It's the only thing, genuinely the only thing at this point that could save that game. Maybe even, dare I say, that franchise.
I think so.
I love me some Halo. I love it. But like, it's dying.
And here's the thing too, is that we also think about, like everyone's getting like at Activision's kind of like obviously like in Call of Duty, and people would be concerned about Halo turning into a Call of Duty clone. But in reality, think about like the developers who work on these games. They're kind of on that Call of Duty cycle. They're always working on Call of Duty. Yeah. If they're given keys to the Halo universe, guaranteed those devs are going to be like, let's pop off and make this a 100% fucking great franchise again. Yeah. Like having fresh eyes that's not Bungie, that's not 343 because who else can you be able to trust like in the industry to make a good FPS game? And that's the folks behind Call of Duty, other than Bungie.
For as much as Activision and all their developers under the umbrella that have worked on Call of Duty, for as much as those guys have gotten wrong, they've gotten plenty right.
Yeah.
And Warzone, even like the first iteration of Warzone it's the only thing that's even been able to like compete with something like Fortnite.
Yep.
And even though people didn't really like Warzone 2 as much, there's still so many people playing it. And I think if Warzone 2 was the first Warzone to come out, people would be like, there's a lot that's great here. It's just that the first iteration was so good that the sequel to that wasn't like, it was a step down, right? But just if you take some of those elements, some of the fun and the knowledge that those developers have regarding battle royales, implement it into Halo with the Halo universe and the arsenal that you have available there, it could be truly special. Seriously, it could revitalize that franchise, breathe new life into it, and bring a totally different audience if, like we're saying, they were to bring it to PlayStation.
Well, I think the inverse can also be said. Like, I think that there's a ton of Xbox game studios that can come over to Activision Blizzard and help them with other games. Like, imagine a full-fledged, like, third-person Call of Duty shooter helped with, like, overseen by the Coalition.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Hell no.
No. Heroes of the Storm, please. No. Come on, Camille.
Or what about like a Hearthstone game developed by, like, set in the Halo universe? I think.
Imagine a Hearthstone game, but it's Marvel. Cool. Oh wait.
Right about that. Yeah, I think it there's a lot of potential for it. I mean, and I know that, like, Camille, you kind of like you're just screaming out like no more Call of Duty, but in a sense.
Oh no, more Call of Duty, not as something else.
Okay.
I think formula's good.
Yeah. Call of Duty formula I think is good. I think in a sense, I'm just trying to think of like other potential combinations. Like imagine like Rare taking on like actual like Rare with toys with Bob, like a full on Spyro.
Oh no, you're missing Banjo-Kazooie.
I thought you were saying
Banjo-Kazooie. Yes, or I'm burning this acquisition to the ground.
Riley was going to burst.
We get Rare toys for Bob, and we do Spyro. I'm like,
I was thinking they already made. I don't know, like It's,
but what about mobile? Do we want to see any of these console franchises on mobile? Do we think that's also a good fit? Like seeing Halo on mobile. I mean, it's similar to COD Mobile.
Has to.
I mean, Death Stranding coming to mobile, and like all these games that are going to now like be capable to like work right here. Like I think, we're going to see a lot more. Mobile gaming is. We were always just at the tip of the iceberg, and it was massive, like, and it still is massive.
All you have to do
bigger than people think.
Just look at the Asian market. Like they've been mobile forward for like 10 years.
Yes.
And so like we're just kind of following behind them right now, trying to just play catch up.
Well, and I think too, one of the big benefits of having the Call of Duty teams now directly involved with some of these IPs is to the point that you brought up, Aaron, that we were talking about earlier, is like you can now get Halo on all the platforms. You have all the dev kits, you know how to develop on those platforms. Like these teams are going to be able to do that. If I'm assuming maybe they switch over to Unreal Engine to make it easier than the Halo engine that they have. Do that, Battle Royale, drop it on every platform. You already have the Call of Duty teams working on Nintendo hardware now. That's official because they signed off on that. So all that stuff is like it makes it perfect. And I feel like, and I'm probably just reading a little too closely based on what Microsoft's done, but you have Master Chief showing up in Rainbow Six Siege multi-platform, Fortnite multi-platform, Fall Guys multi-platform. All of these.
Is that Master Chief DLC of it? Like, could you get that on Rainbow Six if you're playing on PS4?
You can get it. Yeah, you can get it on PS4, you can get it on PC, you can get it on everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's in Fortnite same way. All of that stuff. So it's like this character is widely. He's kind of appearing everywhere. So
I mean, the joke came out of it was like, it's the guy from Fortnite.
But it's smart though, because Xbox does, even though like we grew up in an age of Xbox, a lot of us grew up with Xboxes. We know these characters. A lot of people younger than us may not be as familiar because they didn't have an Xbox. They were either playing on PlayStation or on PC, right? So it's like the best part of this acquisition, like you said, Riley, is getting their IPs known across newer generations. So then if they were to create games, they need to build that fandom for their IPs, really what that is. And I think in the foreseeable future, that's what we're going to see, because in order to make a battle royale Halo, they have to know if people are interested, and Halo Infinite would not put that confidence in them, right?
Yeah. Do you want, like, since like there's so many studios that make Call of Duty, then they used to make their own like individuals. Do you want just one specific studio, or do you want like just all hands on deck, like Sledgehammers or Infinity Ward, Treyarch.
I mean, Infinity Ward is kind of the
whatever.
but any of them are fine. Yeah.
Beanox is good. Infinity War. I think Sledgehammer, like, you know, like we're good if they're not there, you know. But honestly, I think like. I think having the different studios going back and forth, like it's created this cycle that I think fans have expected. And even though we like to rag on it a lot, it's very weird when it's out of that cycle. Like even with the next Call of Duty coming out and we're hearing like, wait, why? But zombies are in this, but this isn't a Black Ops game. But like, you know, we can only handle
zombies in
so
not
much.
Black Ops is always going to be weird.
Drama.
Always going to be weird to me. Yeah.
It's so weird, but it could be great, right? But it's just like, I think you have a franchise there that is so successful already. You don't really want to mess with that formula too much while you're building up the strategy with all these other IPs that you own.
Yeah. Well, speaking about Call of Duty, and before we get to our main event here,
I just had one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sorry.
Yeah, no,
I think they're going
to
bring World of Warcraft to everything.
Okay, now you should be sorry.
Every console. Yeah, I think they're going to do that.
That'd be hard to do.
People tell me,
I get you.
People tell me like, oh no, you can't. Like it's a computer first game, and I get it. It is. But also, like, they added controller support to it. So you can full on just play it with a controller now.
I would love to play that on my Switch. Like, I know, just to be able to play it on the go and not...
You know, I'd love to be able to play old school Warcraft 3 on Game Pass. I would love to see that.
So good.
But even like something like that, I can see that being on mobile, and then that could just blow up as well.
Easy.
So, easy.
Sure,
easy money, Phil. Good stuff. But yes, Call of Duty. How many of you played the beta this weekend or the beta weeks or what?
Both weekends.
Both weekends.
I bet.
Not you. Okay, Camille.
Not me. I'll never play it.
I'm playing another game. Couldn't be me. No.
I've never played Call of Duty before. I'm just
never played. Okay, and
only zombies for me.
And Sammy, you were on Assassin's Creed as well. But did you see any Call of Duty action or anything like that?
I saw a little bit. I saw that Steve Monday was playing it, but I did not. Not technically my jam, but okay. I'm always here for like parties and like LAN parties playing zombie.
What was like the last Call of Duty you played? Out of curiosity, Sammy, or if you played any of them, or
I want to say I tested out Black Ops 3. Okay. At like Fan Expo the year that came out.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. That was a long time.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
For me, it was Ghost. That was the last one I played. And I was like, I'm done with this series.
That killed it for a lot of people.
I never touched Call of Duty again until, funny enough, one of my friends who works at Sledgehammer Games, he's like, I'm having a baby. I've been working this game. I did this scene and everything like that. Oh, you maybe should check it out. I'm like, are you trying to like help me like feed your baby? Do you want me to like buy this game? Like, there's just something. Is that why you want me to try it out? Like, I'm like, whatever. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I really need you to buy this.
Yeah, I really need you. I have a quota. I need you. You're my last one, please. So I tried it out.
I just had a baby. Help me.
You're not even having a baby. You just made the whole story up. You know, who knows? It's a whole lie. But I must say, playing this game. And, funny enough, I feel like I'm back to like the days when I was playing Call of Duty because all the maps are there from the old days, Rust and everything. Yeah. But I must say, I had a blast playing Call of Duty. I've blown away how it feels. It honestly feels like old school Call of Duty. For me, it feels, I guess, as balanced as Call of Duty could feel. But just the enjoyment I was having with the kill streaks and like just like I didn't feel like, oh, this is unfair or like this game something feels off with this game or that shouldn't happen. Like I was like, oh, if I got shot there, I'm like, I know why I got shot there for that reason. Right. I was having a great time. I had a friend who never touched Call of Duty. She was having a blast with it as well. And like I'm just absolutely blown away. I can't wait to hopefully the rest of you share the same thing. If not, you're off the show. But I'm just joking. No, like what do you guys? Wow. No. What do you guys? Except for you, Steve, because you have no comment. You know, Sammy, you're out. But Steve Monday, we got to say about it.
Steve Monday.
Steve Monday is coming out with this beta with two thumbs up.
The Steve Monday.
Steve Monday reporting in. No, I'm kind of with you there, Marcel. I'll keep it kind of brief here. Like, I think, nostalgia was at an all-time high going through Rust. All these like very old, like Modern Warfare 2 maps and everything revitalized and brought to like the new age and everything. But I'm not only nostalgic for that, I'm nostalgic for the fact that it feels like Modern Warfare 1, like 2020. Yeah, 2020 game.
That's what I like to hear.
The movement's back.
That's
the slide canceling's back.
Oh, yeah.
The reload canceling's back.
Even the diving, I was like, this guy's diving, sliding, and I was like, what is happening in this game? It was wild. Yeah.
It's wild to see. Stick with me, guys. Red dots on the map. Blew me away.
God,
oh
thank
my god!
Goodness.
Wait, was that not in MW2?
No, they took that away. You know why? Because they wanted it to be a more tactile shooter, and
it was bad. It was
imagine that.
What? See, I fell off on MW2. I played like the new Warzone for like 2 seconds. I was like, I'm not really feeling it, and then I just couldn't get into it. But I was hooked.
It's
on Warzone 1.
Yeah,
Warzone 1, like
sure.
I couldn't put it down. Okay. That's all I needed to hear.
And that's exactly like what I'm kind of getting back to. Is like it really does feel like we're getting back. It's just a huge shame that we had to waste an entire year and kind of burn bridges with certain communities. It was awful.
This is Call of Duty. It's always love hate with Call of Duty. You know, they never fully have the community won over ever. No, I don't think there's been a single year of a Call of Duty coming out where unanimously people are like, this is
Modern Warfare 1, 2018. Modern Warfare
even then,
2018.
Last Stand, people didn't like. People didn't like Stopping Power and the first Modern Warfare. Are you talking about Modern Warfare, the
2018?
Remake? Oh, okay. Modern Warfare was where people were like, "Oh, I think we're back. I think we are so back." But even then, like, you know, I mean, I loved it. I loved it. That was as close as we got. You know,
Modern Warfare beta. Where does it land, Stevie V?
Oh, I mean, I need more time with it, but it's closer than Modern Warfare 2 is right now. Like, I'm saying here, like I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like we're getting there. But
all right.
I'm not gonna give them the benefit of the doubt though. Like it's still Activision at the end of the day, and they can always like switch up metas and switch up.
They can screw something up. If not, I'll request for the beta to come back.
and the MW2 skins are going into MW3.
Huge, exactly.
Yes.
So I should grind out for Spawn.
Oh yeah,
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah,
I'm going for Spawn. I'm going for Lilith from Diablo.
I gotta get back into
Spawn. Yeah, you gotta get in there.
Yeah, okay.
Have you seen the Doom Operator bundle? And then I'll shut up because we gotta talk about something else. But that thing is slick.
Yeah,
it has like the janky reload from like the 90s game.
Frames per second. I saw that. That is so cool.
Sick.
So cool. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll shut up. We gotta talk about something else.
All right.
No, I was just gonna say, can you not get this Spawn thing afterwards? Or like
it's in the battle pass, right?
It is, but it's also part of their Halloween the Haunting event right now.
And they just added Skeletor.
Skeletor. Yo, that trailer that just dropped for Skeletor made me a fan of him. I don't even care about him that much.
Halo Battle with this stuff.
I know, man. I know. It'd be so clean.
Now I'll shut up until we,
Anyway, I was just liking it. Who else tried it? Riley, you tried it? You liked it as well?
I liked it. Let's steer us into it.
Let's get into it. All right, the main event. Spider-Man 2. Who wants to take it? Who wants to take it?
Aaron, lead us in, man.
Lead us in. Man, I got nothing to add. This is all you guys, so take it away.
I haven't played it, so I'm listening to all of this.
This is going to be spoiler free.
Yes.
Spoiler free.
This isn't the Spider-Man subreddit. We're not spoiling anything.
Oh my god, that subreddit is
just to clarify. Then we'll only talk about what was in the launch trailer, for example, because there were some bad guy reveals in that.
There were a lot in the launch trailer.
Everyone here watched the launch trailer at the very least. Anyone who hasn't played it. Okay, so Camille. Okay, perfect. Yeah. That Insomniac doesn't miss. Like it's pretty much at this point impossible for them to make a bad game. I think like they'd have to try harder to make a bad game than they do to make these like really good quality games. You know, like everything that I got to experience. I don't even think there was a single moment that I felt like there was downtime. I don't think there was a single moment where I felt like I was bored. It kicks off incredible. Like the first 20 minutes are going to blow your mind. And then the last, again, no spoilers, but like, holy, some of the stuff that they do in this game for me, the 6-year-old version of me who's dressing up as Spider-Man every single year for Halloween, who just wears that costume every single day, regardless of whether or not it's Halloween, would be pinching himself at some of the stuff that they do in this game. Seriously, it is like a Spider-Man fan's dream. If you love this character, if you love this world, this is everything you could have hoped for. And as a superhero game, this is up there with Arkham City. And Arkham City is my favorite game of all time. But for me, it's up there.
This is better.
I don't know. I need to sleep on that. I need to let it simmer. You know, I need more time to pass before I'm able to think more about that specifically. Okay. But what I will say is this is absolutely on par with the quality jump from Arkham Asylum to City when we're looking at Spider-Man PS4 to now Spider-Man 2. Like, boss battles are better. Obviously, graphically, it looks better. Gameplay is better. Traversal, the open world is bigger. The story is on a larger scale. It's perfect. Like, I have next to zero complaints apart from some quality of life fixes that I would like, and that I think that Peter's alternate suit selection isn't the greatest, especially when you compare it to Miles.
Okay. Now, would it be absolute blasphemy? So if there's someone like me who never played the previous games, if I just wanted to jump into 2,
you gotta play.
There is a previously on that'll catch you up, but you should play
I would marathon them.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is that at least with the previous ones, like the first one, it's probably just as long as I would say, like as Spider-Man 2, and Miles Morales is a shorter story than that. So you could marathon them and be able to catch up to 2. But
what are the runtimes? Are they like 20, 30?
Probably 30 for the original, 24 miles.
I think even the first one, if you're just running through the main quest, you'd get it shorter in like
probably about 15, 20.
First one, you'd get it done in like a night, honestly. If you started it early afternoon, by the end of the night, you'd roll credits on Miles. But like, and I mainly recommend that you play the first 2, because if you play Spider-Man 2, you might in your mind be like, oh, let me go back and see how the first 2 are, and you're gonna like them less because of that. So it's better to just go in, play the first thing, like the first iterations, because then it just makes you appreciate the jump.
Yeah, I think you could. The one thing you can avoid is you can avoid the DLC that came for Spider-Man. There are some things that they touch on from the DLC, but it's like only kind of like a blink and you'll miss it kind of deal.
Okay.
So, but
I'll jump in. I'll jump in next, and I definitely echo a lot of what Caboose says. I think this game definitely checks all the boxes off for what you want from like a marquee PlayStation 5 game at this point, like in 2023. Again, I'll still continue to say this every single time, but Insomniac continues to prove that they are one of the most capable, hardworking, passionate studios out there. And it's not even like a contest at this point. Like, they are straight up flexing on the competition on other like PlayStation studios at this point. Like, they are above and beyond one of the best across the board.
Would you consider them to be like PlayStation's best studio right now then?
Yes.
Right now,
I think in terms of consistency,
not even up for debate.
Quality,
really,
tone, and it's not even close for me.
So what have they released since the PS4 Spider-Man in 2018? Since 2018, they've had the
Miles, Ratchet,
remastered, and Spider. So 5 games essentially in the last 5 years. And not a single one of them have even missed a beat by a little. Like, even okay, obviously we're not sitting here saying like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a masterpiece, but it's a great game. It's a great game.
Even visually very great too.
Yeah, it's a game that you would buy a PS5 for. It is a perfect showcase game for the PS5.
Gives you a good, I mean, graphically it's beautiful too. They're the ones who as well really started to play around and show off what you can do with ray tracing.
It's the game that
and remastered, like, it's unbelievable what they've been up to.
It's the game that if Insomniac decided to create an Into the Spider-Verse game, Ratchet and Clank is the perfect example of how they could do that.
Oh yeah.
And the best part is, I think that you can definitely see the lineage of like, you see Spider-Man 2 here, you can trace back every point of inspiration along the way, where you can go back as far as Sunset Overdrive and say, oh, this is when they got the idea for this, carried it over to Spider-Man, and then mastered it in Spider-Man 2. Like Caboose was saying, I think in terms of just being a lifelong Spider-Man fan, ever since growing up, I've consumed the transmedia from movies, comics, TV shows, other games, and everything. This game does so many original ideas and interesting spins on characters. No spoilers or anything, but they introduce elements, and I was like, they're not gonna do this, and then they do it,
and then they do it,
immediately,
or then they don't do it, and then they do something completely different, something so off the cuff that I was like, oh, these guys just understand Spider-Man better than I think most creators out there, and I think that they have so much fun with it. I was a little apprehensive and a little scared, to be honest, when they were like, oh, it's double the size, we're adding in Miles, Peter, we're going to involve all these different elements and everything. But I think that they do it almost flawlessly. I think Peter and Miles both handle expertly. The web wings are a great addition. I said it when we did our preview episode, that they are proving that a Superman game can exist, that the test bed is there. They can do it. It's fun as heck.
WB Games, take notes.
My biggest complaint, and it's not even a big complaint, I'm kind of just nitpicking here, and I know Caboose, you were like, oh, this game's nearly perfect. I think that they did go back and go into some bad habits in terms of bloat with side content, where I feel like, yeah, because I feel like some of the side stuff just continued going on a little longer. They could have probably shaved off maybe 5 hours of this game, and I would have been like, this is quality over quantity at this point.
So you're saying side content, or like within the main story?
Like, I'm talking like the little, Ubisoft checkbox objectives on the map and everything. Like,
I would actually probably go with main story. Personally,
I
think,
really,
because I think again, like sorry not to drop. I think the story is really good, but that last third of the story, I think it stretches.
Really?
I think so. I think there's a certain point. There's a certain point where I think it's like, okay, yes, like from this point forward, it is really good. But there is like a little section, like I'd say probably just past half, going into the 2/3. It's like or 3/4. It's like, man, you kind of speed it up a little bit, kind of thing. But I mean, sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, I think that's great though. I think that the diversity in opinions is an amazing thing. For me personally, I would have loved a shorter game, but it just be like, I be fully enthralled from start to finish. But of course, it's a titled sequel. It's a full-fledged game. It's not like Miles Morales where they're selling it at a discount. I can totally understand why they're like, let's pad out this game with as much content as possible to justify the price. But if people are digging it, like Caboose or even Steve, if you're loving the side content, by all means, I'm there for it. For me, it was just, there was a couple activities there by the end where I was like, I could wrap it up and get this platinum trophy and kind of just wrap up my time now.
There's like one or two that are a little like fetch questy, but there's I can think of right now in my mind 3 pieces of side content that have really strong payoffs.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Like,
I'm not saying this is the sentiment across the board. Like, I think that some of the payoffs, some of the side quests, like I'm talking straight up like side missions are objectively some of the best stories of Spider-Man I've seen in the last like decade even. But I'm just talking about like, and not spoiling anything, but like some of like the drone stuff that you've seen you could shave off like 2 or 3 of those and still have the same impact.
There's a lot of them, but I think they're fun too in the way that like it like the web wings, it gives you a good experience with those. Sometimes they'll take you through like unique routes through the city. I think like there's a bit of those. I agree. Maybe when it comes specifically to chasing those drones, that there's too much of it.
That's all.
I think it's like when you're splitting your time up between the different sort of side quests and side missions, like each one to me, like it doesn't overstay its welcome. Like it's one of those, get in like 5 minutes, you finish one quest in that section of the city, and you're done. Then you can be able to move on to another different side quest. So you can break it up like that. I think makes it a little bit better. But I agree with you, Steve. It's like it's the same thing that we've had for now 2 games. It's still still fun because a lot of people who've been reviewing this have been platinuming it. So like it's been great for that.
Got that platy.
I still have not got it yet.
It doesn't come out until Friday.
I know. I'm gonna be at TwitchCon. I can't play it.
Bring it with
so
you.
Funny. Like, I love that Steve highlighted the range of opinions on this, but my thing is like I finished it. And I'm like I want to keep playing, but it's over. Like I wish it had more. Yeah. Like, that's my only thing. It's like that's how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah. The thing that I was sad about with my playthrough of this time around was because I think it could be just because I was reviewing it versus like this one versus I was playing it the first time. The first time I was able to time up the last trophy I needed to get the platinum was to finish the story, and because I had was able to get all of the trophies right up until that point. So to me, when I got to credits and I got that platinum, it felt like that was the best experience that I had with this one. There was at a certain point I had to abandon all the side quests and just try to get through to just finish the story, and I couldn't even get I still have yet to get the platinum in Miles because the last one I need is I have to finish the New Game Plus in order to be able to get it. So thankfully that's not in this one. So you could complete it in platinum in one sitting, like in one go, which is great. But I do want to go back and like get the platinum at some point. But and I feel like it's approachable to do it. But yeah, I would say, echoing what you all said, I really enjoyed it. I think you're right. I think it's one of the best superhero games we've ever had. And this is coming from like a Batman fan. I didn't grow up with Spider-Man. Batman was my superhero. And so I know enough about Spider-Man's like rogues gallery, as it were, and all the characters around it. So I knew enough that I could be able to at least understand who is who. And I loved the different twists that Insomniac did with the different villains, and it like the story that they crafted, they weren't afraid to change things about certain characters because they wanted to fit the story of what they were trying to tell. They were not beholden to the lore and this is what Spider-Man has to be kind of thing. They were very much like, hey, what serves the story best, and let's make it that, which I really do appreciate.
There's two more things I wanted to highlight here. One of them that actually really, it made me happy. It's something that I honestly thought was rather important when it comes to the story of the game. And that's that, yes, the symbiote is a really, really important storyline for Peter. It's a massive arc for the character. So obviously there's going to be a lot to deal with for him and his best friend Harry and MJ and all those relationships. But this wasn't Insomniac being like, all right, Miles, you just take a back seat for a second. Like Miles is just as important, is featured just as much, has his own problems, has his own arc. And I really loved that. And the other thing that I want to talk about, Kraven's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains of all time. It's peak fiction. Like what they do with Kraven in this game is about as perfect as it could possibly be without me currently just holding in my hands Kraven's Last Hunt and reading through that. This is a perfect Kraven. Like, it's incredible. I loved it.
It's just a shame that, the movie is going to, just destroy.
Oh, yeah, I know. And that's going to create such a different public perception. But hopefully enough people play this game.
I don't think so. No,
Jesus Christ. What are they doing in that movie? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's really looking at the movie Kraven and being like, we need this.
No. But also, I will say, tying into the movie, if you're expecting Spider-Man 3 version of villain, or Venom?
Oh, yeah, no.
Which is good.
You do get a tiny bit of emo Peter, but that's about it.
Yes, I love emo Peter.
Even if you were expecting like Tom Hardy Venom. No.
Yeah. No.
But the quick question before I have to hop off, one of my issues, well, not issues, but one of the things I noticed with really the first Spider-Man, I think Miles was short, so it didn't really kick in. I noticed that sometimes when you would find goons, whether you're doing side missions or like just traveling through New York, you would see like these groups that you'd have to beat up. Does that feel repetitive?
That's kind of what we were talking about with some of the side quests. Maybe. Is that there is stuff that, like, the good thing is that of all the side quests that are both in Spider-Man Remastered and Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2, there is not one that has repeated. Like, it's not like, say, the backpacks are back in this one, but they are still similar in gameplay, just with a few like little twists here and there that they've added in.
Cars and stopping,
you're still fighting crimes and stuff like that. Yeah,
but I will say part of what makes it more repetitive in those last two games is I feel like you don't have enough tools in your arsenal. There isn't enough customization in your gameplay. Yeah. I think between Peter having symbiote abilities and iron arms, between Miles having his regular Venom powers and his blue Venom powers, and then like all the new gadgets and the new like combat abilities that you can upgrade to, like, it makes it feel really varied when you jump into a combat encounter. You know, like, for me, there's no two encounters that I go into that feel the same from one another because of what I'm wanting to do, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to have to check it out when it releases on the 20th.
We're going to talk.
We're going to nerd out and talk. I feel like we should do like a little bit of a spoiler one next episode.
I'd be down for a spoiler cast.
Or in a couple weeks, give people some time to play. Yeah. But I got to go, but I will catch y'all later.
All right.
See you, Camille.
Bye.
I was going to say that Spider-Man 2 is the first Spider-Man game to ever break the 90 score rating on Metacritic. Currently right now it's sitting at a 91.
It is still behind Arkham City, though. I did notice. As far because it's like 91, I think, is Spider-Man 2, and I think Arkham City is 94.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Riley, as the person who I think platinumed it the first in this group, I want to hear from you.
Did so Aaron actually did, and I had to ask him where one of the collectibles was.
Oh, okay. I still want to hear your thoughts.
Aaron's like, I'm almost there. And I'm like, fuck. I don't know this. I can't find it.
I knew what it was. Like, I knew the place where it was. And then I was like Googling like where I had to literally, I kid you not, I had to Google where this location was in real New York City. And then
was it the same one that
yes.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
It was. And then I had to be like, okay, now I have to Google where this place is in the game, like where this district is in the game. Like, it was tricky for me to get that last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully their New York City is fairly accurate. So
I think there's like they missed like one or two streets here and there that kind of like impacted the map a little bit, but because they had that from Spider-Man 1 too. Like
they have to.
Yeah. So. But really, I mean, like, I will say this, like, I think probably and so, by the way, so if you're wondering about my accessibility thoughts, I technically have a more review so far on my channel, because there's a lot of accessibility that they've announced that will be released in December, and it won't be available at launch. Stuff like a screen reader, audio descriptions, full captions, controller remapping. So there's a lot of stuff that's missing. So I didn't feel comfortable giving it a score from an accessibility standpoint. There is a lot there, but it feels like that it's pretty much the same that's in Remastered and Miles Morales, and they added like maybe a few things here and there. It didn't feel like each game had like they were innovating from one to the other, and it was like a massive degree of like from accessibility from the 2018 version to the Remastered to Miles. Like, it felt like there was significant upgrades for accessibility, but this one kind of felt like it was still relatively the same. My thoughts may change come December once all the new stuff gets added in, but for right now, I'd say it's good, but I feel like it unless Insomniac is able to, like, for Wolverine or whatever project they're working on next, unless they're able to make that accessible from the start, then I don't know, like, I don't think that they're at the, like, let's say this, Spider-Man 2 is not at the same accessibility level that say God of War Ragnarok or even The Last of Us has. It's good.
What would you say are some of the things that like if there was one key thing you're like, that we need this for accessibility?
I think a big thing, and this is more for blind accessibility, and that's navigational assistance. Because they do have the ability that you can be able to turn on where you hit R3 and it will automatically turn your camera to the waypoint whichever waypoint you're going to. But the problem with navigational assistance is that with doing that is that you don't know height or depth. So when you're having to try to swing or traverse to that point, it's hard to tell where. Okay, is it above you? Is it below you? Or is it around this building? You don't know. Okay, so it's difficult for that, and I think with some of the blind assistants that are that'll be in the new update, unfortunately navigational assistance won't be in there, so it'll be playable, but you might need some actual sight assistance to be able to make it work. But the thing is, this is using the same engine that Spider-Man, like the first one, had in 2018, where accessibility wasn't really talked about or utilized that much. There was some accessibility in there, but not a lot. So it's still the same engine. They've obviously just upgraded it like since then, but it's still the main issues with that engine is that they weren't able to design that for accessibility in mind at the beginning. So hopefully, if Wolverine's a brand new type of engine, it's not using the same thing that Spider-Man's using. I could see them, but if they could be able to add an accessibility into that or whatever the new project that they would be working on, I could see that they would definitely be still really good for accessibility. For right now, it's just more of it's more of the same. So,
I heard great things about. Sorry to cut you off. I heard great things about the fast travel as well.
Oh, that was one thing I was going to mention. That fast travel is
like
fucking
fluid,
insane.
Right?
So nice.
Oh,
yeah.
I have not seen a loading screen once.
And the action that you're like, the character is like just mid transportation, mid swing or whatever, and it's like, it's so smooth. And it's like butter.
What I didn't realize when they first showed it, I thought that it was like you pick a district, you fast travel to it, and it'll put you in a certain spot in the district.
Right.
It's wherever
you put the marker,
wherever you pin,
highlighted.
Yep.
That's absurd. Like, that is insane.
That's insane.
I know some people online are being stupid, being like, "Oh, if you fast travel to Spider-Man, that's that." When you're done the game, if you're trying to just get to the collectibles, or for instance, for me, if I'm filming my Let's Play and the mission I need to get to is on the other side of the map, I've already hit record. We just quickly hit the fast travel. It's just a thing that's there. It doesn't take away from any of the gameplay. So it's like, why wouldn't you just fool around with it and see what it like? It's just the tech. The tech is what's cool.
Is good.
Obviously, most of the time you're going to spend, you want to do your web wings, you want to do your web swinging, you hit those wind tunnels and this and
that's kind of the fun of it, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's still really cool. It's really cool that they implemented it the way that they did.
One thing I was gonna say, one thing I saw from Victor Luke's review, he talked about the fidelity and like the different quality, and he was mentioned that this is something where a PS Pro will probably fit in, where like you could get like the better, I guess it was like performance or quality mode that made the game look a little bit more crispier.
If you do VRR in
VRR,
120 hertz mode, I think you can get 40 FPS out of fidelity, and
did you guys see the difference from like the quality from that? If you did play around with that, or
I just
I wish I could. I don't have a 124 inch hertz screen, unfortunately.
I just played on performance. I need my 60. The game already looks good. I don't need it to look like insane.
If you want a good example of how good everything looks in the animation and everything, try out turning on game speed, because you can slow down the game to like 30%, and this is why like at the end, like I was so like I was frustrated with like the kind of the last bit, because I actually had to go into 30 speed because I was like the only way I could be able to actually get through it. But seeing all of the animations in that slow motion, like you really do appreciate the quality of those animators, and just everything. Like everything looks like it's it's so perfect, and it's great, and I love it.
One of the coolest parts about it was the battle damage to the suits, actually.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yes, that was
wow.
Cool. Yeah.
I have a feeling that they're testing it for Wolverine.
Maybe
just
that's a good
carved up and
like X-Men Origins.
Regenerate.
Ooh.
I have a feeling that's what it is. Yeah,
because they did. Yeah, because the suits do regenerate after a little bit.
Yeah. So I feel like that's perfect.
I don't even want to think what Insomniac is going to do with Wolverine after what they've done now up until this point. Like Spider-Man 2 being as good as it is, just gets my hopes up. Even because again, as a kid, it was Spider-Man, it was X-Men. Those were like the two things I like. That was my Bible.
Fox Channel, back to back.
Exactly. And so the fact that they're the ones at the helm for the Wolverine game, that just gets me 10 times more excited. Like, I'm already going in with sky high expectations, and I'm pretty confident they're going to be met. Like, I don't foresee that Wolverine game coming out and being like, I don't know if they hit the mark.
As long as it's M for mature, I think they're going to just do something
the benchmark.
incredible with it.
Benchmark. Yeah, we need to start there. Yeah.
Well, I have no questions.
Yes.
It's a 9.5 out of 10 for me to wrap it up on that.
I gave it 5 out of 5. I thought it was the best superhero game I've ever played.
I mean, it's as a superhero game, it's a masterpiece. It's 10 out of 10 easily. But just again, there's a couple of things that are nitpicky for me. Like I need mission replay that was available in Miles Morales. Yeah, okay. I don't know why that's not in here day one.
Fair.
When you beat the game, you can't change time of day or weather. I think that's a really silly thing to not have. And outside of that, like, again, I think Peter's alternate suits, like for me, it's not that the suits are bad. It's that like he doesn't have nearly as many comic book suits.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess we'll talk. It's not really a spoiler. What's not in it? Like, if you could do, like, what's one that you were really hoping to see that's not in it?
Sensational Spider-Man, Ben Reilly, Captain Universe, I think would have been really cool to throw in there. And some other, like, again, I think I would like to see some of the original suits from the first Spider-Man, like that they were able to add in. Like, I would love to see some of those come back into this. I think actually it's a part of my problem is that there's a lot that they brought back for Peter. Right. Like, it almost takes up half of his list. It is true. Yeah.
A lot of
especially with the different colorways too.
Yeah, and some of them colorways are.
There's some weird ones.
That's interesting, especially after Miles Morales' movie. There was so many variants of Spider-Man. You could have been like, let's just bring that or that one, that one. Right?
The suit selection though for Miles is
sick.
Really cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
I will say the one. Okay,
because they brought a lot of suits from the comics. You know.
Okay.
So the one because there is a question I want to ask the three of you because I want to know which ones you use. But I have to say there's only one nitpick I had about Peter suits is when he's in the symbiote suit.
Yeah,
I do not like the shiny, like the plasticky kind of look to it.
You're not.
It feels
gooey texture.
I do not like when the gooey that's in the gooey texture of his Venom powers. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm all for it, but it just the way it kind of looks. It looks like that basically you're coated in like hard glue, and I'm just like, yeah, no. It's just it just feels
like a candy apple.
Elmer's glue.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't describe it because it's just like when the light hits it, it just kind of has this shiny kind of like plasticky kind of.
It looks wet to the touch. It
looks wet. Yeah, it does. It looks like it's very wet, and I'm like, no, it just does. Anyway,
you know what I really love, and this is not a spoiler because you guys would have seen this even from our hands-on preview last month. Is when you do the symbiote surge mode, and you get kind of that like enhanced symbiote suit.
Yeah,
that one rules. Like, really good design.
But I do want to ask the question. I want to ask is which was the suit that you used the most?
I'm not
for me. I went for like for Peter. I went for the main suit, but his colorway of the very dark navy blue,
like the black and red almost.
The black and red almost, and then for Miles, I did the shorts and the jacket. Like the big puffy jacket, and his hoodie. Like I did that one for Miles.
Yeah. So for Peter, I was stuck on the advanced suit 2.0 with the black and the red because that just works.
It looks so great. Well. Yeah.
For Miles, actually, because he has so many good ones, I was jumping from one suit to the other. My favorite one, I don't even want to spoil it because it's really
okay.
Really cool.
Boxer shorts, Miles. I said it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
You can't say because it's a spoiler.
It kind of is.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
One for
although some people have been posting, I think, versions of it today.
I mean, there's spoilers everywhere on Twitter.
There's like one show, like is the one showcasing the fast travel that's been going around. There is a clip. Is that the one?
No, I actually don't like that one all that much. Okay. But I also we weren't allowed to post that stuff. But that's
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all out there now.
Yeah.
I feel like the suits are wasted on me, to be honest, because I just stick with what the story has. I'm like, this is what he's supposed to look like right now. So I'm doing that. And if they happen to switch a suit like through the story, I'm like, that's the one I'm using now. It's like, I don't know. I don't like that aspect of me because I feel like I don't appreciate that element as much. But
yeah.
There's one Miles suit where I couldn't resist. Like I as soon as I got it, I had to use it pretty much for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a spoiler, this one. Like it's because again, you unlock it earlier. But I think it'd be it's cooler if you guys just find out yourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next episode we talk.
There is. I think I know which one you're talking about.
I'm messaging you.
For Miles.
Steve, what was yours?
I don't really want to say it because I think in both cases they're kind of spoilers.
Spoilers, okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in the future for sure.
Yeah.
We'll
give people a week or two, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are listening to this, don't go on YouTube or Twitter.
No,
especially Reddit as well. Yeah.
So close.
No, seriously, like I said this in my review too. Like, just avoid the spoilers at all costs. I know it's everywhere, and like some people are going to be tempted. You know, you're still waiting to get your hands on the game, so you want to see it. It's just such a better experience when you don't know what's coming. Like if you're not expecting what's coming next, or if you're not like going into it knowing everything, your experience is just way more enhanced. And I'd say that about anything regarding spoilers, but especially with this game. Like you think you want to know, you do not want to know, because just reading it in text, it doesn't do it justice than watching it all go down.
Yeah.
Agreed.
There you go.
Yeah.
So just go watch all Steve's and Caboose's content. Just leave the tab open, walk away. Make sure you leave a like on their videos, and then close the tab after that. You know,
Steve, you have yours up on Mobile Syrup?
Edward?
No, so I just did a podcast.
For Console Creatures, right?
Yeah,
Console Creatures,
and a very nice TikTok I saw.
Yeah, it was alright.
And Reel on IG.
IG Reel there too. Oh yeah. Well, I'm excited for Spider-Man for when it comes out to PC. That's right, I said it for PC. I'll wait for it.
Next year.
January 2025.
1 year away.
1 year, yeah.
Actually, speaking about a bet, because I know we have a bet on that. Who do you think is going to score higher? And then we'll end it off on this: Spider-Man or Mario?
Spider-Man.
Metacritic score wise.
I think probably it's a 91. Ooh, like that's tough to beat.
Yeah, I think
it's tough to beat.
I think it's wild enough. Mario might be like 93 for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think there's a case for like Mario to land at like 89, 90.
I could see that, but I feel like 91 is like that's like game of the year.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: Super Mario Odyssey got a 97.
But that's Odyssey though. I think like 3D Mario has
well, this is wonders.
I can take a look. What was the last 2D Mario?
3D Mario or whatever.
Super Mario 3D.
That's it. Yeah.
Bowser's Fury.
I'll go for the original maybe. I think the
like new
Bowser's
Super Mario.
Fury, yeah.
According to Metacritic, okay, so that got an 89.
89?
Yeah, so I think we're in the ballpark of 89, 90 for Wonder.
92. Saying it now. It's gonna happen.
92. Oh.
Your price is writing it, huh?
92. $1, Bob. $1.
What? But do a bet. Come on.
This is a bet. Whatever. I'll add.
Oh
wait, no, I take it back. I take it back. If it's Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U, that was a 93. Bowser's Fury was an 89.
Ooh. Yeah, but that was a remade game as well. So
you know what? I'm gonna price is right as well. I think 90.
I think 90 91 for Mario Wonder.
Tie it.
I'm saying 90 the highest.
Yeah.
I'm say 90, Bob.
That's the cap. That's the cap.
All right, we'll find out. We'll find out on the next episode of a gaming podcast. Caboose, what do you got going on there, man?
I mean, some stuff I can't talk about, but the Let's Play for Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to start. Obviously, the game is coming out this Friday, so people can look forward to that on my channel, youtube.com/Caboose. My review is currently up. At some point in the future, we're obviously going to talk some spoilers, really get into the nitty gritty of the game. And then outside of that,
you're gonna stream it as well. Like you could do.
Of course,
is it like separate or
gonna be live on Twitch.tv/Caboose. I mean, to kind of be the bearer of bad news for some people, it won't be my first playthrough when I jump live, but still, obviously, there's gonna be a lot of fun there. And then, I mean, now that we've gotten this big superhero game launched, pretty much it's done. I look on the horizon as in February, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will be coming out. I'm obviously not as insanely hyped for that as I was for Spider-Man 2, but as a guy who covers superhero games, we're going to get into that, and hopefully we hear some more about it before the end of the year, because they haven't given us an update since February. So we'll see.
Got some MK1 DLC coming too.
Omni-Man's on the way in November.
That trailer looked amazing.
With the Tremor, with the Tremor cameo.
I love Tremor.
So that's going to be sweet. They gave us, I think, a whole rundown in the press release of when all the DLC is coming. I think Peacemaker's supposed to be potentially before the end of the year, or at least in January. And yeah, I mean, I think outside of that was maybe Quan Chi or Ermac before the end of the year. Cool. So yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to, lots of content to make. We're going to be busy, very, very busy until the end of this year and beyond. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CabooseEK.
Hell yeah. Sammy, you're still being an assassin this weekend? What's going on?
Probably going to do a couple Mirage streams. Got some Mario Wonder stuff happening this weekend. And also dipping my toes a little bit into cosplay since it is Halloween and I'm using it as an excuse. So we'll see how that goes in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. And you can find me on twitch.tv/PetusPants or Instagram.com/PetusPants are my main platforms.
All right. And we're going to report one more time to Steve Monday.
Oh yeah, Steve Monday reporting in. No, now that I got a little bit of Spider-Man content out there, I actually have some more stuff that I can't talk about just yet, but coming out later this week, which is very exciting. And then beyond that, I don't know. I'm just kind of looking forward to Super Mario Wonder this weekend. I'm gonna try and play some of that. That'll be fun. And then Alan Wake 2 next week. And the hits keep on coming.
Just keep coming.
Yeah. So a lot of gaming stuff. So I can't wait to talk about it on the show. And you can also find me all across the internet at Asfikvari.
There you go. Steve Saylor. I'll be seeing you soon.
I got nothing.
Wait, you're gonna be throwing food at some people. What do you mean? What? I got nothing.
No, I mean, yes, I have TwitchCon. Obviously, I'll be there. I'll be on a few panels. Actually, there's a Food Beast competition that's happening on the main stage where last year I almost killed a streamer. There's a whole story about that.
This year you're gonna finish the job.
This year, I ain't coming back as a contestant. I'm coming back as a judge. So I'm gonna be judging these mofos.
All right.
So I'll kill their dreams instead of killing them personally. Anyway, but yeah, no, I have a bunch of panels. So there's gonna be accessibility panel I'll be on, and then there'll be some Creator Camp stuff, and just seeing me around on the TwitchCon floor, and then that's what I got coming up this week.
Hell yeah. Super excited. I'll see you in a couple of days.
Heck yeah.
And then Riley, how about you, my dude?
Mario Wonder is coming up. Sonic's today. And I wish I had more to do with Spider-Man 2, but we're kind of in the end game there.
Start up your new playthrough, man. I'm on second playthrough right now. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
I've platinumed it now, and there's like 80 other games, and it's like, there's just too much going on.
Party animals to play.
Too much party animals. Game of the year. Game of the year party animals. Yeah. We should all play that again.
We should.
I'm down. Again. Yeah.
Just hit me up.
What if like I mentioned too, they just bring like Spider Cat into party animals,
I'm surprised that they don't have more crossovers. I'm sure in time. They have like Half-Life and Ori and a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So lots of stuff. But maybe I'll just play party animals. But I'm going to play Warzone. The Haunting's going on. I'm going to try the new Halo season. So lots going on there, and also
a lot of content to consume.
A lot of stuff.
And you can follow me at the Riley Little. That's everywhere. So
there you go. And I'll be at TwitchCon like Steve as well. And I have a panel with the Twitch meetup panel. And then I'm coming right back on Sunday because I don't want Vegas to consume me. So try to catch up with some games and everything like that. So, but we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.